Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Invincibility starts with God level selection. Chapter 21. The day of the martial arts test has finally arrived. Everyone is waiting inside the school, waiting for the school's special bus to take them to the examination room. Because the first examination room of the martial arts examination is not in the school, but in the martial arts gym. The martial arts gym has more complete facilities and can more accurately test the students' martial arts cultivation. Of course, only certified high-level martial arts schools are eligible to be set up as examination centers. While waiting, Lin Yuan opened his current personal attribute panel out of boredom. Host: Lin Yuan. Equal order. Late third order. Qi and blood, 9,034 points. Psychic power, 4,796 Hz. Power, none. Special skill, 3 Magatama Sharingan. Comprehensive evaluation. Weak and weak. After taking the golden tree fruit, his mental power skyrocketed and finally stabilized at 4,796 points. Subsequently, Lin Yuan simply ignored the words, too weak to resist the wind, and began to think carefully. Now, he is still about 1,000 points of vitality and blood away from a 4th level warrior. The first place in the ZJ City Literary Examination, coupled with the late 3rd level martial arts cultivation, is enough to be admitted to the Magic City Martial Arts University. However, when Lin Yuan thought about it with his toes, he could think of people like Guanshang, Hong Dingtian, Zhang Bao, and Yi Wushou who would definitely target him in the martial arts test. Hence, he must at least have the strength of a 4th level warrior to be able to cope with all emergencies. It seems that I have to find a way to trigger a few more options. Students with exam numbers 20121, 20452 will get on the bus first. We are ready to leave for Junhai Martial Arts School. Head teacher, please keep order. Broadcast again, please take the test number. Lin Yuan glanced at his exam number and found that it happened to be among them. He swiped his admission ticket and boarded the school bus. 10 school buses were quickly filled with people and headed towards Junhai Martial Arts School. Central City, Junhai Martial Arts School. The first item is a boxing test. Students, please line up in the order of the test numbers and take the test numbers in turn. Students who have not had their turn, please wait patiently in the waiting area. Lin Yuan was luckier and had a higher test number, so he was directly classified into the first batch. The speed of assessment is not too slow. The team in front of us is gradually shortening at a speed visible to the naked eye. Next, exam number 20,176, candidate, Zhang Yan. The ****** man in front of Lin Yuan was finally called. He chuckled and stepped forward eagerly, obviously full of confidence. After checking the admission ticket and passing the facial recognition, the ***** man first came to the blood meter and put his palm on it. Candidate, Zhang Yan, Qi and blood value, 4,874. After the Qi and blood meter reported Zhang Yan's Qi and blood, many people cast envious glances at him. With a health value of nearly 5,000 points, he can already be called a 2nd level peak warrior. If he scores well in the liberal arts exam, he will definitely be able to go to a fairly good Wuhan University. After testing his own energy and blood, Zhang Yan took a deep breath and came to a huge boxing target. This is the real test content of the first level. Punch strength test. Zhang Yan concentrated on accumulating strength, his eyes suddenly opened, his right fist drew an arc in the air, and slammed into the boxing target in front of him. Under such a heavy blow, the boxing target in front of him did not move at all. The boxing strength test machine on the side quickly displayed the values. Punch strength, 550 kilograms. After completing the test, Zhang Yan breathed a sigh of relief, and immediately went to take the second test under the guidance of the examiner. The people in charge of invigilating the exam are not all teachers, but also a few are instructors drawn from major martial arts schools. They looked at Zhang Yan's performance without any expression on their faces, but they shook their heads slightly in their hearts. In this Zhang year, his Qi and blood are a little too weak, and he is unable to effectively control his own power. Presumably, this guy took a lot of medicine in preparation for the martial arts exam. However, as long as you do not take drugs such as violent potions that can greatly improve your martial arts test scores, it will not be considered cheating. Next, exam number 20177, candidate, Lin Yuan. Finally reached myself. Lin Yuan walked forward very casually and placed his palm on the qi and blood meter. Candidate, Lin Yuan, health value, 9,037 points. It is indeed a qi and blood meter from a high-end martial arts school. The test results are almost the same as those of the system. However, after the qi and blood meter broadcast, the whole place was in an uproar. Oh my god, he is Lin Yuan. I didn't expect that Lin Yuan would be in the same examination room as us. 9,000 points of qi and blood are so powerful that I won't be able to catch up even if I practice for another 3 years. Even the martial arts instructor in charge of invigilating the examination had a slightly strange look in his eyes. Although they don't know who Lin Yuan is, those who can reach 9,000 points of qi and blood at such an age are all the best among the martial arts candidates. After completing the blood test, Lin Yuan slowly came to the boxing target. He did not rush to punch, but first mobilized the energy and blood all over his body to his right arm. The next second, surging energy and blood burst out in an instant and passed into his right arm. Lin Yuan's fist, like an angry arrow from the string, hit the target hard. Pong! The boxing target trembled slightly. Lin Yuan looked up. Punching power, 1634 kg. Almost 3 times that of Zhang Nian. Good. Even the examiner in charge of the exam could not help but praise him. Being able to explode with such high punching power is enough to prove that Lin Yuan not only has energy and blood, but also has an amazing degree of control over his power. After completing the qi and blood test, Lin Yuan then conducted the mental strength and speed assessment. Generally speaking, warriors who major in qi and blood basically rely on their results in the first assessment. As for those who major in mental power, the mental power assessment is basically based on the standard. Of course, if both qi, blood and mental strength have reached a certain level, the best one will be chosen as the assessment standard, but some additional points will also be added. After all, there are many people in the world today who have cultivated their qi, blood and spiritual power to the peak at the same time. This kind of warriors are extremely rare in number, but their strength is also extremely terrifying. Lin Yuan's mental power of nearly 5,000 Hz, although it does not meet the standards of a mental power user, can still bring him a certain amount of extra points. After the 3 tests of boxing strength, mental strength, and speed, Lin Yuan finally ushered in the last test. Nervous response test assessment. This assessment is extremely difficult. For other candidates, it is the most unstable assessment. But for Lin Yuan, there is no difficulty at all. Because he possesses the most powerful cheating device of neurological reactions, the 3 Magatama Sharingan. Under the guidance of an invigilating instructor, Lin Yuan quickly entered the testing room dedicated to testing neural responses. This place is not spacious, it is just a room of about 60 square meters, without any furnishings, and it looks slightly empty. The surrounding walls are covered with dozens of Gatling-like machine gun muzzles, pointing darkly at the center of the room. The exam time is only 1 minute. The rules of the exam are even more simple. After the exam begins, a special rubber bullet will be fired from the machine gun in front of you. Although the speed is very fast, the impact and damage caused are minimal. In 60 seconds, the fewer bullets that hit the candidate, the better the score. If the number of rubber bullets hit is less than 10, it is considered excellent. Between 10 and 40 coins, it is considered good. 40 to 70 coins are considered qualified. Those who were hit more than 70 times were naturally disqualified. Examinee Lin Yuan, are you ready? Lin Yuan nodded and walked directly into the center of the room, waiting for the exam to begin. After he was ready, the invigilator directly pressed the "Start" button. Suddenly, all the machine gun muzzles on the wall were instantly aimed at Lin Yuan's location. Countless special bullets, like a shower of rain in a line, shot towards Lin Yuan's position. Lin Yuan, who had his eyes closed before, suddenly opened them. The blood of Sharingan instantly spread out in his pupils. For a moment, in Lin Yuan's eyes, the speed of these bullets was as slow as a turtle crawling. As long as he predicts the trajectory of the bullet, he can easily dodge in advance. For Lin Yuan, who possesses the 3 Magatama Sharingan, this test is too simple. At this moment, in the monitoring room, The so-called control room is naturally used to monitor the examination room and prevent candidates from cheating. Old Feng, Old Tang, come and take a look. A middle-aged man looked at the screen, his brows furrowed tightly. What's wrong? Some candidates cheated. After hearing the call, an old man with a hooked nose and a bald man came directly in front of his screen, seeming to want to find out. Subsequently, the eyes of the three people began to look slightly strange. What kind of movement did this kid use? I don't know, I've never seen this kind of movement before. It's so weird. The way he moves has no rules at all, yet he is able to avoid all the bullets. I said, this kid's body skills must have reached the perfect state of returning to nature, right? How is it possible? Many martial arts masters may not be able to reach this level. The bald man's eyes flickered for a while, and then he said, if you ask me, he either has sensory powers or he really has a unique body technique. The old man with a hooked nose chuckled. No matter what, this kid is definitely a good prospect. After the examination is over, maybe you can ask him if he is interested in joining our Qinglong martial arts school after the martial arts examination. The bald man laughed and said, Old Thief Feng, you have a beautiful idea. Our Tiandao Martial Arts School is not a level better than your Qinglong Martial Arts School. Why do you think this kid will definitely choose you? At this moment, the middle-aged man also blushed, and said angrily, I told you to calm down, this is a seedling I discovered, you are not allowed to compete with me. The old man with a hooked nose said with a smile, this kind of thing doesn't matter on a first-come, first-served basis. The bald man chuckled and said, Old Feng is right, this kind of thing depends entirely on the boy's volition. The middle-aged man shook his head helplessly, you two scoundrels. Time passes by minute by minute. 60 seconds passed in the blink of an eye. Lin Yuan, who had completed the assessment, walked out of the door of the neural response testing room with a relaxed expression. Congratulations to the candidate, Lin Yuan, for successfully completing the nerve response test, the number of hits, 2, and the evaluation is excellent. I wish you good luck in martial arts. The reason why he was hit twice was not because Lin Yuan didn't react. After all, under the dynamic vision of the 3 Magatama Sharingan, there is no concept of fast at all. It was actually because the bullets were too dense and Lin Yuan could not keep up for a while, so he was hit twice. If Lin Yuan now had the explosive power of a 4th-level warrior, then he could even complete the level perfectly. Up to now, the 4 basic assessments of the martial arts examination have been completed. The next step is the last item of the martial arts test. That is the actual combat assessment. One of the ultimate purposes of practicing martial arts is to suppress alien beasts and protect the living environment of the human race. So, for warriors, actual combat is the most important link. However, the actual combat assessment was scheduled for 3 days later. So during this period, Lin Yuan can go home and have a good rest. Just as he was about to leave the examination room, 3 martial arts instructors with different postures stopped in front of him. A strong man with a shaved head, and a skinny old man with a hooked nose. Only the last one looks slightly normal, a middle-aged man with a square face. Hello, we are the invigilators of this examination room. We have some things to ask. Is it convenient for you now? Lin Yuan frowned slightly. Invigilator, what do they want to do with us? Could it be that you were caught using the Sharingan to cheat? No, even if he was discovered, Lin Yuan could definitely say that this was his superpower. 3 seniors, what can I do for you? Lin Yuan really couldn't think of a reason, so he simply asked straight to the point. The hook-nosed old man spoke first and said with a smile, Little friend, I wonder if you would like to join our Qinglong Martial Arts School after the martial arts exam is over. Don't worry, your studies will definitely not be delayed, and you will even be given an extra allowance every month. Lin Yuan was slightly startled. Before he could react, the bald man spoke eagerly, Little friend, don't listen to his deception. Their Qinglong Martial Arts School is nothing compared to our Tiandao Martial Arts School. If you really want to join a martial arts gym, our Tiandao Martial Arts Gym is the best choice. At this moment, the middle-aged man finally spoke. He coughed twice and said solemnly, Little friend, you are also from Zhenhai. I believe you should also know that Zhenhai Martial Arts School is in our local area. What is the status of the city? Lin Yuan was at a loss of whether to laugh or cry. He finally understood the meaning of these three people's words. It turned out that they were not here to check for cheating, but to get him into the martial arts gym. Lin Yuan has long heard that there will be some martial arts instructors who are responsible for invigilating the examinations, selecting some good young talents who are strong in the martial arts examination, and trying their best to recruit them into their own martial arts gyms. However, Lin Yuan did not expect that this kind of thing would happen to him. By the way, little friend, I still don't know what to call you. After the three of them introduced their own martial arts schools, the middle-aged man finally remembered that he seemed to have not even had time to ask the other person's name. Lin Yuan smiled and said, "Seniors, just call me Lin Yuan. Are you the one who won the literary examination?" The bald man's eyes widened with surprise on his face. "Senior, have you heard of me?" The old man with a hooked nose on the side interjected, "I've heard of it, I'm simply amazed. Nearly half of the people in Zhenhai City know that in this year's martial arts exam, there was a monster with a total score of 788. So you are Lin Yuan." The middle-aged man's gaze became increasingly hot. "It seems that my vision is really unique, and I actually picked a top candidate in the literary test. Such a good seedling, but there is nothing you can do to let these two scoundrels get away." Thinking of this, the middle-aged man hurriedly said, "Little friend, if you are willing to join our Zhenhai martial arts school, I can apply to the above and directly give you the treatment of a senior student." Seeing the middle-aged man taking the lead in making the offer, the bald man also became anxious. "Boy, join our Tiandao martial arts school. I, Tang Dao, are willing to accept you as a disciple and personally teach you the 7 styles of the Ju Dao." The hook-nosed old man on the side said with great disdain, "With your martial arts cultivation of a 3-legged cat, please don't show it to embarrass yourself, okay? Little friend, if you are willing to believe me, joining our Qinglong martial arts school is the best choice. If you are willing to join our martial arts gym, I would like to personally promise that not only will you be treated as a senior student, but there will also be 18 martial arts masters in the gym. You can choose whoever you want as your teacher. 7th level warrior, officially certified as a martial arts master. Little Grandmaster is more similar to the title spread among the people, and is usually called a 6th level warrior. There are actually 18 martial arts masters in one martial arts gym. The family background of Qinglong Martial Arts School is indeed strong. Seeing that the 3 martial arts schools had offered corresponding conditions, Lin Yuan did not make a decision immediately. He is waiting to see if the system option will be triggered. Finally, the long-lost selection box appeared in front of Lin Yuan's eyes again. Choice 1. Choose to join the Tiandao Martial Arts Hall, and you will be rewarded with 1,000 points of vitality and a skill experience card. Step forward. Option 2. Choose to join the Zhenhai Martial Arts School, and you will be rewarded with 2,000 health points and a skill experience card. Raptor's Tail Swing. Choice 3. Choose to join the Qinglong Martial Arts School, and be rewarded with 3,000 hertz of spiritual power. Finally here, looking at the options in front of him, Lin Yuan began to calculate carefully. The third option, be the first to rule it out. For him now, mental power is of no use at all. Anyway, aren't the skill cards rewarded by the first 2 options the skills of Wind Swordsman, Yasuo and Blind Essen Lee Sin? Is it possible that the system wants to make you like a happy man, walking around in the crowd? Lin Yuan shudders just thinking about it. After a moment of silence, Lin Yuan finally said, "Thank you all for your kindness, seniors. I still think Zhenhai Martial Arts School will be more suitable for my future development." Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully making the choice. You will be rewarded with 2,000 points of vitality and blood, and a skill experience card, Raptor's Tail Swing. In addition to the system's rewards, Lin Yuan naturally also has his own considerations in it. Although Qinglong Martial Arts School and Tiandao Martial Arts School are more famous, these 2 martial arts schools opened in Zhenhai City are just branches after all. Comparatively, although Zhenhai Martial Arts School is not as well known, it still has the home field advantage and will be able to take care of his parents in the future. As for which martial arts master to be his disciple, Lin Yuan really has no idea. After all, he has a systematic system and does not need the guidance of a teacher at all. After Lin Yuan gave the answer, the hook-nosed old man and the bald man looked at each other with a wry smile, showing a bit of disappointment, and stopped talking. But a bright smile burst out on the middle-aged man's face. He stepped forward and stretched out his right hand towards Lin Yuan. You really have a good eye, little friend. Since you have decided to join our Junhai martial arts school, from now on, we will be comrades in arms of POWs. By the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Zhang Feng. If you don't mind, just call me Lao Zhang. While speaking, Zhang Feng took out a business card from his arms and said, "This is my business card. When the martial arts test is officially over in a few days, contact me immediately and I will take you to go through the relevant procedures." Quote. Lin Yuan nodded. Thank you very much, Brother Zhang. Practical assessment. The night before. The family is sitting around the dining table, the aroma of hot food is wafting, and the atmosphere is warm and harmonious. My boy, just follow me, he is very successful. He is the top scorer in the literary test in ZJ City. Father Lin smiled brightly and said happily, "You don't know, your dad's phone has been inundated with calls from relatives and friends these days. Looking at your arrogance, it's not like our son has given you a face." Mother Lin said angrily, "If I really follow you, will I be in vain for the rest of my life?" Father Lin chuckled and did not refute. Yes, you are right, you can't follow me." Lin Yuan laughed dumbly on the sidelines. His father was really a strict wife. Subsequently, Father Lin poured himself a glass of beer. "Xiao Yuan, can we have a glass tonight?" "What are you doing? My son has to take the actual combat assessment tomorrow." Yes, look at my memory." Father Lin patted his head and asked again, "Little fool, are you sure about tomorrow's actual combat assessment?" Lin Yuan nodded lightly while drinking the soup. For him now, the difficulty of the actual combat assessment is not too great. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Dad can't give you the best living environment, nor can I afford those expensive cultivation resources. I just hope that you can be safe and happy in this life, without any illness or disaster." Father Lin sighed slightly, obviously full of self-blame. Looking at his father's appearance, Lin Yuan's nose felt slightly sore. He swore secretly in his heart, "In this life, no matter what, I must let my parents live the best life." The actual combat assessment is finally here. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Lin Yuan boarded the train to the assessment site. The entire carriage was overcrowded, with nearly 50 or 60 candidates packed into one carriage alone. The location of the actual combat assessment is outside the city. Although there are dangers outside the city, in order to ensure that martial arts candidates can effectively conduct actual combat assessments, the Ministry of Military Affairs forcibly emptied an abandoned city and put thousands of low-level alien beasts into it as an area for actual combat assessments. Please call the candidates with serial numbers to come up and receive combat uniforms and weapons in order. In order to reduce the casualty rate in actual combat assessments, the Ministry of Armed Forces will issue alloy weapons and nanofiber battle suits to all candidates, as well as an instant messaging device. As long as you are in danger and press this communication device, the nearest patrol examiner will immediately come to the rescue. In this abandoned city that has been transformed into a city of strange beasts, all behaviors except killing and affecting assessments are allowed. I have to say that in the actual combat assessment, the Ministry of Military Affairs has spent a lot of money. The nanofiber suits they wear can even withstand the claw attacks of third-order alien beasts. The alloy weapons issued can easily tear the tough skin of alien beasts. Under the leadership of the examiner, the first batch of 1,784 candidates filed in from 4 different entrances and entered this abandoned city filled with strange beasts. Roar. Just outside the abandoned city, the roars of beasts can be heard. Some candidates with weak receptive abilities have begun to look a little pale. Remember, the most important thing in the actual combat assessment is your life safety. No matter what your martial arts test score is, you only have one life. In case of danger, press the communication device immediately. Also, let me reiterate once again, candidates can learn from each other, but no killing is absolutely allowed. Once verified, we will be severely punished. After killing the alien beast, cutting off its key parts will be regarded as a successful kill. Okay, the actual combat assessment has officially begun. I wish you all good luck in martial arts. The door behind you closed with a bang. The crowd dispersed and quickly poured into the city. Lin Yuan was not in a hurry. After all, he had already made up his mind to go directly to the center of the abandoned city to hunt the strange beasts. The closer to the center, the higher the level of the alien beasts, and the number will be denser, which is very dangerous. However, if he wanted to get a good result in the actual combat assessment, Lin Yuan had to go to the center. Just killing some peripheral first and second order beasts has no meaning. Just as Lin Yuan was walking towards the center, he suddenly felt a malicious gaze falling on him. This is really not a metaphysics. Lin Yuan's current mental strength is not low, and it is reasonable to feel the obviously hostile eyes towards him. Lin Yuan looked back and found that it was Guansheng who was staring at him. The people standing next to Guansheng are all old acquaintances of Lin Yuan. Zhang Bao, Yi Wushou, Hong Dingtian. I really didn't expect that Guansheng would bring these people together. Among them, Yi Wushou was beaten the worst by Lin Yuan, and his injuries have not fully recovered yet. Now that they had already encountered each other, Lin Yuan simply did not avoid it and asked straight to the point, "Are you, the Avengers?" Surrounded by other candidates who knew the origin of the matter, they almost laughed out loud. This Lin Yuan is really a talent. God ******* the Avengers. Hong Dingtian took a step forward and was about to argue something, but was immediately stopped by Guansheng. There is no need to say harsh words, he will suffer the consequences later. Hong Dingtian took a deep breath, and then nodded heavily. Lin Yuan didn't care what these people's plans were. After making the choice to join the Junhai Martial Arts School, he had been promoted to a 4th-level warrior with the system rewards. No matter what these people plan to do against him, Lin Yuan can continue. Thinking like this, Lin Yuan ignored these people and began to rush towards the center quickly. Soon, Lin Yuan was getting closer to the center. Another dog-like beast suddenly flew out of the shadows, opened its mouth full of fangs, and bit into Lin Yuan. The third strange beast. Lin Yuan's eyes were sharp. When the alien dog rushed in front of him, his right fist was like a cannon hammer, and he smashed it towards the head of the alien beast with the force of a mountain collapse. Click! Under the explosion of Lin Yuan's tens of thousands of energy and blood, the skull of this alien dog was violently cracked directly under his punch. The latter wailed, twitched, and collapsed to the ground, turning into a corpse. Ghost-Tooth Dog, a second-level alien beast, has extremely sharp fangs that can even bite through steel plates. For ordinary martial arts candidates, this kind of strange beast may be extremely difficult. But in front of Lin Yuan, he was simply vulnerable. Lin Yuan skillfully cut off the left ear of this strange beast as proof of his success in killing it. Something's not quite right. Lin Yuan frowned slightly. Logically speaking, I have almost entered the central area. But the surrounding strange beasts were not as dense as Lin Yuan imagined. In 15 minutes, he only hunted 3 strange beasts, and they were all second-level beasts. At this pace, Lin Yuan's actual combat assessment results may not be much higher. Lin Yuan pondered for a moment, turned around and entered an abandoned building, and soon climbed to the top of the building. Above the high-rise building, the surrounding scenery is completely unobstructed. He wanted to see what the problem was. Subsequently, Lin Yuan quickly discovered the reason. The 4 people Guansheng, Hong Dingtian, Yi Wushou, and Zhang Bao were divided into 3 groups in a pin-shaped formation, blocking each other in 3 different directions, frantically hunting the surrounding strange beasts. No wonder I haven't encountered any strange beasts for so long. It turns out that most of them were stopped halfway by these people. Lin Yuan couldn't help but sneered. These people, in order to take revenge on themselves, actually came up with such a sinister way. If I hadn't discovered it early enough, I'm afraid I would have been tricked by this group of people. However, since they like to play like this, you might as well just use the trick and let them continue to target you like this. Anyway, when the leeks grow, it's time to harvest them yourself. Time passes by minute. In a whole hour, Lin Yuan only hunted 7 strange beasts, and they were all beasts below the 3rd level, which did not add much to the assessment score. At the same time, Zhang Bao and Yi Wushou once again intercepted a 2nd-level peak steel-armored wild boar. Guansheng and Hong Dingtian are both strong enough to fight alone. Since Yi Wushou's injury had not yet recovered, Zhang Bao was directly assigned to him. The two of them fought together and were able to deal with the strange beasts in the central area. The steel-armored wild boar in front of him had a skin that exuded a metallic luster, and the hair on his body was like sharp thorns. The thick tusks reflected a chilling light. Yi Wushou in his heyday could definitely take on this steel-armored wild boar alone. However, now he needs to cooperate appropriately with Zhang Bao. In actual combat assessments, reasonable teamwork and cooperation will not be regarded as cheating. The two of them seized on the steel-armored wild boar's weak point of slow speed and began to swim with it. While fighting, Zhang Bao laughed and said, "Guanshang, that boy, is really quite capable. With such a move, it's no wonder that Lin Yuan's performance in the actual combat assessment is not perfect. I guess he hasn't killed 10 strange beasts so far, right?" However, at this moment, a faint voice suddenly sounded from behind Zhang Zhang. "You guessed it right, I really haven't killed enough 10 strange beasts." Lin Yuan. After hearing this familiar voice, Zhang Bao felt that the hairs on his back were about to stand up. At the moment when he was stunned, the steel-armored wild boar suddenly let out a beast's roar, rushed forward, and forcibly pushed Zhang Blast 7 or 8 meters away. Ahem. Although the steel-armored wild boar is slow, its strength is not weak at all. Under this huge force, Zhang Bao spurted out a mouthful of blood. Lin Yuan stood aside and said innocently, "This is none of my business. It was this wild boar that hit you." Zhang Bao's eyes were about to burst, and he shouted angrily, "Lin Yuan! I'm going to kill you." Lin Yuan's face darkened, and he stepped forward with an arrow. His right hand was like an iron pliers, instantly grabbing Zhang Bao's throat and nailing him to the wall behind him. "Who did you say you were going to kill?" Lin Yuan's voice was as cold as coming from the 9 nether hell. Zhang Bao was extremely shocked and shouted anxiously for help, "Yi Wushou, save me." Lin Yuan turned around slightly, the energy and blood in his body suddenly burst out, and his momentum rose to the extreme. With such momentum, he stopped Yi Wushou's movements with just a cold look. Yi Wushou felt a cold sweat break out on his back. How many days has it been? How did Lin Yuan become so strong? The strength of qi and blood he showed just now is at least as high as that of a 3rd-level peak warrior. If you dare to rush up to rescue Zhang Bao, you are simply seeking death. What's more, there is a steel-armored wild boar watching eagerly from the side, working hard and ready to charge again at any time. However, although Yi Wushou did not step forward, it did not mean that he was sitting back and waiting for death. He has secretly sent the news of Lin Yuan's action to Guanshang and Hongdingtian through the sensor in his hand. You must know that in addition to Hongdingtian, a late 3rd-level psychic, Guanshang is also a peak 3rd-level mental power user. If these two people arrive in time and join forces with the 4 of them to surround and suppress Lin Yuan, the latter will never stand a chance. Yi Wushou's little move was naturally noticed by Lin Yuan's extremely keen eyesight. However, he had no intention of stopping the other party. Since he dared to appear alone in front of Yi Wushou and Zhang Bao, that means that he is ready to fight 1 against 4. Zhang Bao was unable to move at all under Lin Yuan's grip. He said in horror, "Lin Yuan, you can't kill me. If you dare to kill me, all your martial arts test results will be invalidated, and you will not be allowed to take part in it again for life." "Yeah," Lin Yuan smiled and said lightly, "I know as much as you do about the rules of the actual combat assessment. Although you can't kill people, it doesn't mean you can't beat people to half-death, right?" Zhang Bao's eyes were about to burst, and he shouted sternly, "Lin Yuan, if you dare to do this, I will never let you go." Lin Yuan didn't even need to beat him half to death. He only needed to step on one of his legs to completely render him incapable of fighting. In that case, he would have to call for help through the sensor and terminate the martial arts test early. Furthermore, the results of the actual combat assessment will also be greatly reduced as a result. "Oh, by the way, thank you very much for killing so many strange beasts for me. I will accept your thoughts first." Lin Yuan directly stretched out his left hand and took off the bag from Zhang Bao's waist. Inside the cloth bag are all materials from the strange beasts that Zhang Bao had hunted before. As a result, Zhang Bao's actual combat assessment score will be 0. Lin Yuan, ah! Just as Zhang Bao was about to insult him, Lin Yuan stepped on his knee, crushing his kneecap to pieces. Such severe pain caused Zhang Bao's face to become distorted, and he couldn't help but let out a painful cry. Lin Yuan smiled and leaned towards Zhang Bao's ear, and said softly, "I didn't stop you from talking, but I didn't let you talk so much nonsense. If you dare to make any noise again, don't even think about your other knee." Zhang Bao was covered in cold sweat, and he didn't dare to say another word. Subsequently, Lin Yuan let go of his right hand and fell to the ground, apparently unable to stand up. Yi Wushou on the side frowned slightly. Although he had already experienced Lin Yuan's ruthlessness, Yi Wushou still felt a little uncomfortable seeing Zhang Bao crippled. Since Lin Yuan had no intention of taking the initiative, Yi Wushou was happy to continue the current stalemate. "If you can delay time, just delay it as much as possible," I said. However, at this moment, Lin Yuan spoke softly, "When will Guanshang and Hong Dingtian come over? These two people are too busy. I think it's been a long time since your message was sent out." For a moment, Yi Wushou's pupils shrank suddenly. How can it be? This guy actually knew that Guanshang and Hong Dingtian would come. He knew he was stalling for time, but he had no intention of stopping it. Is it possible that Lin Yuan really wants to fight 1 against 3? Is this guy blindly arrogant, or does he really have some confidence? For a moment, Yi Wushou was a little confused. Roar! At this moment, the steel-armored wild boar, which had been ignored, finally couldn't hold it any longer. It directly burst out with a beast roar and charged towards Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan's expression did not change, the energy and blood in his legs suddenly burst out, and he kicked the steel-armored wild boar on the lower jaw. Pong! With a muffled sound, the head of the steel-armored wild boar was directly dislocated, its body twitched feebly twice, then collapsed to the ground and stopped moving. Lin Yuan took back his right leg and said casually, "Isn't it good to live? I have to send him to die." Yi Wushou couldn't help but swallow. The second-level peak steel-armored wild boar was directly kicked to death by Lin Yuan. Although he can also defeat this steel-armored wild boar, victory and instant kill are two completely different concepts. At this moment, Guanshang and Hong Dingtian finally arrived. The two of them noticed Zhang Bao's tragic situation at first sight, and Guan Zheng's face instantly darkened. "Lin Yuan, how dare you take action in the actual combat assessment?" Lin Yuan shrugged helplessly. "The tactics you used are too vicious, I can only think of more solutions on my own." Speaking of this, Lin Yuan directly raised the cloth bag that he took from Zhang Bao. Inside the cloth bag are all materials from various exotic beasts. They are also the voucher for calculating the results after the actual combat assessment. Guanshang quickly understood what Lin Yuan meant. He is simply provoking them. "Since you don't let me hunt exotic beasts, then I will treat you as prey." "Very good." Guanshang suppressed the anger in his heart and said through gritted teeth, "Since you insist on forcing us to take action, then I will do as you wish." "You asked for it." Hong Dingtian, Yi Wushou, take action. Following Guan Zheng's loud shout, the figures of the other two people suddenly rose up and headed towards Lin Yuan from left to right. Pong! Lin Yuan stretched out his right palm and blocked Hong Dingtian's heavy punch. The next second, he turned around, his left leg turned into a long whip, and he fiercely slashed towards Yi Wushou. "You are not allowed to participate in a battle of this level." Lin Yuan's cold voice reached Yi Wushou's ears. The next second, the whip legs roared in. Yi Wushou's eyes were horrified. At this speed, it's impossible for him to avoid it. Click! Yi Wushou once again tried to block with his right arm, but Lin Yuan kicked him hard and broke his upper arm bone. Suffering from the pain, a layer of fine beads of sweat immediately appeared on Yi Wushou's forehead. Lin Yuan was unyielding when he gained the upper hand, and instantly got rid of Hong Dingtian's restraint, dodged in front of Yi Wushou, and punched him in the face again. This punch caused Yi Wushou's eye sockets to burst open, his head tilted, and he fainted. The latter fell down directly on his back. Lin Yuan showed no expression and took off the bag from his waist. "It's really hard for you. In spite of your busy schedule, you still want to find time to work for me." Lin Yuan glanced at the cloth bag in his hand, and a smile appeared on his face again. Yi Wushou's cloth bag contained much more exotic beast materials than Zhang Bao's. What a great harvest! Hong Dingtian's face turned red. Lin Yuan's strength was obviously beyond his expectation. This guy, while dealing with him, still had the energy to seriously injure Yi Wushou. Hong Dingtian gritted his teeth and said, "Guanshang, come and deal with him with me." However, Guanshang said in a deep voice, "Buy time for me." Hong Dingtian was stunned for a moment. He turned around and saw that Guan Zhang's eyes were filled with a breathtaking blue light. This guy is obviously performing some kind of spiritual magic. In this case, then you have no choice but to fight. Lithification. Hong Dingtian roared, and his skin suddenly turned into hard rock. And, this time, he came prepared. He directly took a real steel plate and fixed it in his clothes to defend his only weak point. It's a pity that Lin Yuan had no intention of targeting his weaknesses this time. The surging energy and blood surged through Lin Yuan's body like a long flowing river. His punch was like thunder. Each punch can trigger a sonic boom in the air. Lin Yuan punched very fast. Even if Hong Dingtian could react, he couldn't catch them all and could only resist with his body. Facing Hong Dingtian, Lin Yuan showed no mercy. He opened and closed his fists widely, almost punching to the flesh. Hong Dingtian became more and more frightened as he fought. You must know that in the last battle, Lin Yuan was only on par with him. In just 1 or 2 months, I was already suppressed by him and was unable to fight back. How amazing is Lin Yuan's progress? Hong Dingtian suddenly had a terrifying thought flash through his mind. This guy must be a 4th-level warrior, right? Just when Hong Dingtian was distracted, Lin Yuan punched him in the chest again, hitting him hard. Hong Dingtian only felt a sense of suffocation. He staggered and fell backwards. Lin Yuan did not take advantage of the victory and pursue it. Instead, he stood up with his fists closed, giving Hong Dingtian a chance to breathe. This guy is such a good person. Knowing that he had just broken through to the 4th-level warrior. Not yet fully in control of one's own power. He hurriedly sent it to his door and acted as a sandbag for himself. In this world, there are probably not many superpowers that are as suitable as rock transformation and can be used as human sandbags. At this moment, Guan Zhang's mental power spell was finally condensed and completed. Hong Dingtian, get out of the way. Following Guan Zhang's low drink, a strange blue light was projected directly from his eyes. In an instant, Lin Yuan's whole body was covered. At the same time, the surrounding scenery also began to change rapidly. This is water. Lin Yuan looked around suspiciously. The eyes are filled with sea blue. All around is sea water. I feel as if I am in the depths of a vast ocean. Everything is so realistic. Even more, sea water began to choke his mouth and nose, making him feel a sense of suffocation. In fact, Lin Yuan knew that this was an illusion. But his subconscious had been affected by the opponent's spell, and he determined that he was in the depths of a vast ocean and could not breathe. If Lin Yuan remembered correctly, a person would suffocate in 2 minutes and be in danger of death in 5 minutes in a hypoxic environment. This is the true strength of a person with mental power. It can drag people into illusions and kill people invisibly. What a good means. Under the growing sense of suffocation, Lin Yuan closed his eyes and smiled with difficulty. It's a pity that Guanshang missed something in the end. Under this vast ocean, Lin Yuan's thoughts were flowing, and he suddenly opened his eyes. 3 Magatama Sharingan, open. Sharingan can not only drag people into illusions, but it can also see through all illusions. After Lin Yuan opened the Sharingan, the illusion in front of me is like a broken mirror. It shattered into pieces piece by piece. The sea water surrounding Lin Yuan all receded like an ebbing tide. As the illusion was lifted, the suffocating feeling of being trapped under the sea also dissipated. Lin Yuan has returned to reality. 3 minutes ago. Who? Looking at Lin Yuan shrouded in blue light, Hong Dingtian finally got a chance to breathe. He turned his head, glanced at Guanshang, and asked, "Did you drag him into the illusion?" Guanshang nodded proudly. His mental strength is not weak, and it took me a lot of effort to drag him into the illusion. As expected of the blue eyes, it really deserves its reputation. Hong Dingtian grinned, his face slightly ferocious. Previously, under Lin Yuan's offensive, he was almost suppressed and could hardly breathe. However, things have turned around now. No matter how high your qi and blood are, once you are trapped by the illusion of caring, there is nothing you can do. Lin Yuan, This kid is so arrogant, it's time for him to taste the pain. Hong Dingtian then asked in a deep voice again, how long are you going to keep him trapped? Trapped him, Guan Shang sneered. My ocean hell can directly suffocate him to death. Hong Dingtian's face changed slightly. Are you going to kill him? Although the two parties have deep grievances, the dispute has not reached the point of killing people, right? The most important thing is that after killing Lin Yuan, Guan Zheng's actual combat assessment results will also be invalidated, and he will not be able to participate in the martial arts examination for life. No matter how much Guan Shang wanted to kill Lin Yuan, he would not make fun of his own future. No, I will trap him until he faints from lack of oxygen, then lift the illusion and break his limbs with my own hands. Guan Shang said with a sneer. At this moment, someone asked again, isn't it bad to have someone's limbs cut off if they disagree? I didn't let him die in the illusion, it was already the greatest mercy. Haha, really? Guan Shang frowned and said with slight annoyance, Hong Dingtian, you begged me to help you at the beginning, why did you do it instead? The second half of his words was stuck in his throat. Because Guan Shang found out that Hong Dingtian didn't speak at all, but his face was pale and full of shock. Whose limbs did you just say you were going to break? That voice rang in Guan Zheng's ears again. This time, he finally heard it. This is Lin Yuan's voice. You broke my illusion. Guan Shang was extremely insidious. He deliberately pretended to be in disbelief. When he turned around, a blue light emerged in his eyes, and he looked directly at Lin Yuan. As long as the opponent is hit, he will be mentally disturbed for at least 3 seconds. These 3 seconds are enough for him to deal with Lin Yuan. Unfortunately, facing the blue light in front of him, Lin Yuan was not moved at all, and sneered, I heard that you want to compete with me in eye power. Next second, the 3 Magatama in his Sharingan eyes started spinning rapidly. Although Lin Yuan's mental power is not as strong as Guan Zheng's. But when it comes to the ability to create illusions, the Sharingan is unparalleled. Guan Shang felt a trance in front of his eyes, as if he was suddenly exiled to a desolate land. The soil beneath his feet was as scarlet as blood, and exuded an extremely strong smell of blood. Am I being pulled into a fantasy world? Guan Shang looked around at the scene with some confusion. His nearly 10,000 points of mental power was so easily pulled into the illusion by Lin Yuan. It's impossible, break it for me. Guan Shang shouted loudly and suddenly unleashed all his mental power. Veins even appeared on his forehead. However, the illusion in front of him showed no signs of breaking apart. At this moment, pale skeletal hands emerged from the blood-colored soil. Subsequently, hundreds of skeletons, like evil ghosts crawling out of hell, wailed and climbed toward Guan Shang. How is it possible? How is this possible? Guan Shang took several steps back, a look of despair appearing on his face. At this moment, a bone hand suddenly grabbed his right leg, and countless skeletons swarmed up and began to eat his flesh and blood crazily. Ah! Guan Zheng's screams echoed for a long time on this ***** plane. Looking at his pale and distorted face, as if he was suffering from extremely frightening thoughts, Hong Dingtian couldn't help but take a few steps back, and asked in horror, what did you do to him? Lin Yuan shrugged helplessly. I just pulled him into my fantasy world. What he likes to do most is to treat others the same way they treat others. In the illusion created by the Sharingan, Guan Shang can truly experience the pain and the fear of being eaten by a skeleton bit by bit. However, none of this will have any impact on reality. In other words, Guan Xiang will not die. At most, it will leave some psychological shadow from now on. Lin Yuan directly took off the cloth bag from Guan Zheng's waist and turned to look at Hong Dingtian. Should you hand over your share yourself, or should I come and get it myself? Hong Dingtian didn't dare to hesitate. He untied the cloth bag from his waist and ran away without looking back before Lin Yuan started to attack. What a joke. They have all been wiped out. Is it possible that I still want to stay and give Lin Yuan his head? Lin Yuan didn't even bother to chase him. A guy who bullies the weak and fears the strong would naturally not dare to provoke him after being taught enough lessons. After collecting the exotic beast materials in the 4 bags, Lin Yuan showed a satisfied smile on his face. In this way, my score in the actual combat assessment will definitely not be too low. I really care about them. Seeing that my efficiency in hunting exotic beasts is so slow, I specially sent points to them. What a group of good people. Bah, bang, bang. Just as Lin Yuan finished cleaning up and was about to leave, a burst of applause suddenly sounded in his ears. Lin Yuan frowned and looked out. I saw a man who looked like an iron tower, applauding and smiling as he walked over. Anything? Lin Yuan looked slightly cold and asked. The man from the iron tower looked around at the messy surroundings and said calmly, "Tisk, tisk, it seems that he does have some skills." Then, the corner of the iron tower man's lips curved up in a provocative arc, and he said contemptuously, "If I'm not mistaken, you are Lin Yuan, right?" Lin Yuan raised his head and replied seriously, "You guessed wrong, I am your father." Lin Yuan has never been soft-spoken towards people who deliberately provoke people like this. People respect me 1 foot, and I respect others 1 foot. If someone offends me an inch, I will respond with an inch. Lin Yuan is quite accurate in judging people's abilities. The man with the iron tower in front of him is obviously coming with bad intentions. Since you are so good at provoking me, you can't blame me for not giving you a good look. After Lin Yuan said these words, the iron tower man in front of him was obviously a little angry, and his face instantly darkened. Haha, you are worthy of being the top scholar in this year's literary test. You are really arrogant. At this moment, a cold voice suddenly sounded from behind him. Zhou Lai, don't be rude. After hearing the voice behind him, the iron tower man shrank slightly and subconsciously took 2 steps back. Lin Yuan looked around and found a thin young man with a cold face standing behind Zhou Lai. While he looked at the other person, the latter was also looking at him with interest. However, Lin Yuan did not know the identity of the other party. Lin Yuan knew a little bit about the strong men in our school, and he could recognize them no matter how hard he said it. The 2 people in front of them should obviously be the martial arts geniuses of other schools. As for why Lin Yuan was so certain, it was naturally due to his own judgment. If you don't have the strength, how can you dare to challenge yourself after losing 4 people in a row? However, Lin Yuan didn't know the specific strength of the other party. Zhou Lai retreated behind the thin young man and said with a grin, "Brother Dong, this is the Lin Yuan who stole your first place in the literary test." "I know," Coltsfoot responded lightly. Although he acted quite indifferently, he still couldn't hide that he was very interested in Lin Yuan. He raised his eyes and asked softly, "Are you also a telepathic person?" Lin Yuan laughed playfully. "Yes or no, what does it have to do with you?" At this moment, an invisible spiritual power suddenly spread from around Butterbur. The latter's eyes seemed to be filled with light. At that moment, Lin Yuan even felt that he had been completely seen through by the other party. Interesting, interesting. A Qi blood warrior can actually achieve such a high score in the literary test, or, do you have a memory-type power? Coltsfoot withdrew his gaze, with a slight smile on his lips. Lin Yuan frowned and still said the same thing. "What does it have to do with you?" Zhou Lai finally couldn't hold it any longer. He sneered and threatened, "Boy, it's not a good thing to be too arrogant. You will be beaten." Lin Yuan smiled. "These 2 people came and provoked me again and again, but actually said that they were too arrogant. Who is being beaten? Why don't you come over and try it yourself?" Lin Yuan said sarcastically, and raised his fingers towards Zhou Lai. Zhou Lai frowned, but he didn't get angry immediately. Instead, he looked at Butterbur beside him. The latter nodded and said softly, "Go." Zhou Lai gave a ferocious laugh and walked straight towards Lin Yuan, his eyes clearly saying, "You're finished. Since you said so, let's compete." Zhou Lai stepped out fiercely, his tall and burly figure looking like a violent bear in human form. Although his body looks bulky, his speed is as fast as lightning. Power and speed are perfectly combined in him. Punch. Zhou Lai punched forward. It was just the most ordinary straight punch, without any fancy skills, but with the double increase in speed and power, it exploded with extremely terrifying momentum. Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed. With this punch, Zhou Lixiao said that he exploded with a force of 15,000 points of energy and blood. This guy is really not simple. Lin Yuan did not dare to take a hard hit, so he directly used Tai Chi to remove some of the force from his fists with both palms. Subsequently, Lin Yuan took advantage of the situation and retreated, cleverly avoiding Zhou Lai's punch. "Why, don't you dare to accept it?" Zhou Lai gained the upper hand and showed no mercy. He pushed in again and punched out again. Lin Yuan had no choice but to put his arms across his chest. He took the punch hard. Since Zhou Lai's punch did not have any momentum accumulation process, the power is slightly weaker. But even so, Lin Yuan still felt a numbness in his arms, and even a slight pain in his bones. Just as Lin Yuan and Zhou Lai were fighting, two more figures came nearby. Lin Yuan knew these two people. Chen Ji, Yun Tingting. Ranked second and third respectively on the Zhenhai Tian list. When he fought with Hong Dingtian, these two people. What kind of physique does Lin Yuan have? How come he fights with people wherever he goes? Yun Tingting couldn't help but shook her head and said, if I guessed correctly, the big guy who fought against him should be Zhou Lai from Zhenhai No. 2 Middle School, right? Chen Ji on the side nodded. That's him, I've competed with him before. Yun Tingting became interested. How is the outcome? Tie. Then, Chen Ji added, but he won't last as long as me. If we continue to fight, I will win. Yun Tingting. I suspect you are driving, dirty. Chen Ji. Forget it, I won't tease you anymore. It seems that Lin Yuan is really not as strong as you. Yun Tingting licked the corner of her mouth and said, you can even compete with Zhou Lai. This kid has been suppressed until he can't breathe. Chen Ji's mouth twitched. What do you mean, I can tie with him? I'm very strong, okay. By the way, after all, no matter what Lin Yuan is, he can still be considered an alumnus of ours, right? Is it really okay to watch him being bullied like this? Yun Tingting smiled as brightly as a flower. Yeah, I don't feel too good either. How about you go and pester Butterbur, and I'll help that kid deal with Zhou Lai. The corner of Chen Ji's mouth twitched again, and he said bluntly, then let's forget it. The pervert Butterbur is not something he can deal with. Yun Tingting, the fairy, has a troublesome face, and she is really quick and easy when it comes to attacking people. While the two were talking, Lin Yuan had already exchanged more than 10 moves with Zhou Lai. The advantage in qi and blood strength gives Zhou Lai an advantage. His repressive power is extremely strong. Lin Yuan could almost only defend passively in front of him. If the current situation continues to develop, Lin Yuan will definitely lose in less than 3 minutes. However, although he was at a disadvantage, Lin Yuan was not panicked at all at this time. He was thinking about when to use the one-time skill experience card he received as a reward last time. The dragon swung its tail. Just as Lin Yuan and Zhou Lai were fighting fiercely, and the winner was about to be decided, another figure slowly appeared in everyone's sight. This is a figure that is not eye-catching at all, but it attracts the attention of everyone present. This man was wearing a black martial arts uniform, dragging the corpse of a huge alien beast, and was walking towards the crowd step by step. The tyrannical wolf demon, the 4th level peak alien beast. Chen Ji looked solemn and said slowly, this strange beast is probably the most powerful one in the entire central area. I didn't expect that he even managed to get rid of this big guy. Yun Tingting couldn't help but swallowed, as expected of him. On the other side, Coltsfoot looked slightly cold. Shen Xiao, we meet again. Shen Xiao, this is the name of the young man in front of me. Of course, he also has a more famous name. Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School, number 1 on the Tian list. Yezhira, Shen Xiao. Yeah, long time no see. Shen Xiao smiled and put down the huge wolf carcass he was dragging. Then, he patted the dust on his hands and said softly, Coltsfoot, I'm afraid it's a little unfair to bully the people of Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School like this, right? Coltsfoot narrowed her eyes slightly. This guy really wants to stand up for Lin Yuan. Shen Xiao has always been an extremely defensive person. He will not interfere with the internal affairs of Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School. But once someone from another school is planning to take action against the students of Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School, Shen Xiao will definitely come forward. Whether it is strength or magnanimity, Shen Xiao is the well-deserved number 1 in Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School. In the eyes of thousands of students at Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School, Shen Xiao is simply like a ***** of war. Coltsfoot suddenly laughed. Fair. Where does fairness come from in this world? All fairness is just some leeway under the palm of a fist. Since you, Shen Xiao, want to stand up for this kid, you should get through me first. Just in time. I've heard about your reputation as Shen Xiao for a long time, and I've always wanted to fight you once. Coltsfoot's tone is calm, neither humble nor arrogant. Although Shen Xiao is the number 1 person in Junhai number 3 middle school. But how can he, Coltsfoot, not be the strongest person in Junhai number 2 middle school? The strongest versus the strongest. It is not yet known who will win. Then Coltsfoot turned his head again and looked at Zhou Lai. Don't worry about me, hurry up and get rid of that kid as soon as possible. Facing Coltsfoot's invitation to fight, Shen Xiao didn't say much. He just took a step forward expressionlessly. The next moment, the aura around him suddenly rose. The extremely rich power of qi and blood condensed on Shen Xiao's body like a scarlet blood mist. As if a scarlet armor prototype was formed. Qi blood armor. Coltsfoot's expression changed, and she was slightly frightened. The qi and blood are released, and the blood is coagulated into armor. This is something that only a 5th level warrior can do. Although what Shen Xiao condensed was only the prototype of the blood armor, it was enough to prove the horror of his strength. He is worthy of being the number 1 person in Junhai number 3 middle school. He is indeed quite capable. However, even if this is the case, he will never be timid. You are right about one thing. All fairness in this world is just a little leeway under the palm of a fist. Whoever has the bigger fist will decide the rules. As soon as he finished speaking, Shen Xiao's figure charged out like a asterisk afterimage, his fist pointing directly at the Coltsfoot. The latter showed no fear on his face, and his mental power expanded to the extreme. Nianbi, Ning, the surging spiritual power, like a vast ocean, escapes around Coltsfoot. Subsequently, he forcibly compressed these mental powers and condensed them into a physical mental barrier, like a shield, blocking Coltsper. Give me broken. Shen Xiao's momentum is like a rainbow, and his punches are like an angry dragon. Even if there is a solid wall of thought in front of him, he still moves forward unwaveringly. The warrior is fearless, the warrior is fearless. The so-called warrior must have the courage to break everything. Shen Xiao punched out, and the mental barrier in front of him was like a lake with stones thrown into it. It rippled around in circles, and countless cracks appeared. Just after Shen Xiao poured out all his fist power, the barrier of telepathy burst apart. Coltsfoot's complexion changed. He obviously did not expect that Shen Xiao could break through his defense so easily. Boom! At this moment, there was another muffled sound. Zhou Lai's figure, like a torn sack, flew out from the side and fell heavily to the ground. Things turned around too suddenly. For a moment, everyone was stunned. What's happening here? Even Chen Ji and Yun Tingting were confused. Because their attention was completely focused on the battle between Shen Xiao and Butterbur. So, they didn't know what happened at all. Wasn't Lin Yuan still in a state of being suppressed by Zhou Lai just now? How come the situation was reversed in the blink of an eye? Zhou Lai, who fell to the ground, had fainted. Coltsfoot frowned and glanced at Zhou Lai's injuries, discovering that the latter had at least 2 or 3 broken ribs. With Zhou Lai's strength, how could he be defeated so miserably? Is it possible that that kid has other trump cards in his hand? At this moment, Lin Yuan also walked over slowly and said lightly, "Now that the matter has been resolved, there is no need for the 2 of you to fight again, right?" After Lin Yuan said these words, Coltsfoot felt a tightness in his chest. Good thing has been solved. However, this is indeed the case. Zhou Lai was defeated, and there was no need for him to continue entangled with Shen Xiao. Even if Coltsfoot wants to attack Lin Yuan forcefully, he still has to weigh his own strength. After all, besides Shen Xiao and Lin Yuan, there were 2 other people present at Junhai number 3 middle school. If he takes action forcefully, I'm afraid those 2 people will definitely not sit idly by. This time, I have no choice but to admit defeat. Coltsfoot secretly hates it. The reason why Zhou Lai went to Lin Yuan for discussion was mostly because he wanted to complain for him. He felt that Lin Yuan had robbed him of his first place in the literary test. Although he didn't particularly care about this matter, out of his interest in Lin Yuan, he allowed Zhou Lai to provoke him again and again. It's just that Coltsfoot never expected that today's events would end in such a way. The matter has come to this, and although I am unwilling to accept it, I can only admit defeat. Coltsfoot gritted his teeth, walked forward directly, took away the unconscious Zhou Lai, and chose to leave without looking back. Lin Yuan watched Coltsfoot leave without any intention of stopping him. Because he knows that he is not a match for Butterbur now. And it was impossible for Lin Yuan to ask Shen Shao for help. The latter is willing to come forward to help him, which is considered to be the most benevolent thing. Had it not been for Shen Shao's intervention, today's matter might not have been settled so easily. However, even so, Butterbur may not be able to turn the page so easily. Although he didn't say anything when he left. But dogs that bite often don't bark. It seems that I still have to improve my strength as soon as possible. If he could have the strength like Shen Shao, how dare Zhou Lai dare to challenge himself? Thank you very much. Lin Yuan came to Shen Shao and thanked him softly. You are welcome. The latter was not that cold, and responded with a smile, your strength is very good. At this moment, Chen Ji and Yun Tingting also walked up. Yun Tingting's beautiful eyes flickered, and she looked at Lin Yuan with interest. Hey, how did you get rid of Zhou Lai? Judging from your previous battles, your energy and blood should not be as abundant as his. Or, have you always been hiding your strength? Lin Yuan smiled and replied vaguely, it's just a fluke. Speaking of which, the way he defeated Zhou Lai was quite simple. After Butterbur asked him to hurry up, Zhou Lai's attack became more and more violent. Correspondingly, he had many gaps and flaws in his defense. Lin Yuan seized the opportunity and directly activated the skill experience card. A dragon swinging tail forcefully kicked Zhou Lai on the right side of the ribs. With the increase in skills, Lin Yuan's kick exploded with nearly 20,000 points of energy and blood. Zhou Lai was only kicked and broke a few ribs, he was already rough-skinned and thick-bodied. Is it really just a fluke? Yun Tingting glanced at Lin Yuan rather suspiciously, as if she wanted to see some clues from the latter's face. However, Yun Tingting was also very sensible and did not choose to ask more questions. Everyone has his own secret. What's more, it was Shen Shao who helped Lin Yuan, not her. There is really no need to answer her. However, Lin Yuan, who has risen as a dark horse, is really mysterious. Attention all candidates. The exam time has expired and the practical assessment has officially ended. All candidates are asked to stay where they are and wait to be picked up. Repeat, please pay attention to all exams, exam time. The loudspeakers in the city finally announced the end of the actual combat assessment. In this actual combat assessment, although I did not try my best to hunt down the strange beasts, I also intercepted the results of thinking about them. Even if the score is not too high, it is definitely not too low. As for Zhang Bao and Yi Wushou, who were beaten to half a disability, Hong Dingtian fled in a hurry, and Guanshang is still trapped in the illusion. The results of their actual combat assessment are not that beautiful. It is not impossible to even get a 0 score. I wanted to plot against Lin Yuan. However, he kept making calculations, but he got himself involved in it. This is called doing one's own fault and not being able to live. Lin Yuan. While everyone was waiting for a response, Lin Yuan suddenly heard someone calling him. After turning his head, he realized that it was Shen Shao who had spoken. Lin Yuan asked, what's wrong? Are you free during the summer vacation? I will organize a hunting team to hunt strange beasts outside the city. If you are willing, you can join. Lin Yuan was slightly startled. Are you inviting me? Yes. Shen Shao's words are concise and to the point. Let me think about it. Let me ask a question first. Who are the members of the hunting team? Shen Shao replied. It's all in front of you. Well. Lin Yuan was slightly stunned. Shen Shao, Chen Ji, Yun Tingting. This lineup is really luxurious. Including all the top 3 in Junhai number 3 middle school. But that's right, those who dare to spontaneously form a team to go out of the city to hunt strange beasts shortly after the martial arts exam is over must have some strength. Otherwise, you will simply die. Chen Ji smiled and said, Lin Yuan, what's there to think about? Shen Shao usually doesn't take the initiative to invite others. At first, Guanshang came to Shen Shao with a stern look on his face and said he wanted to join the team, but he was directly rejected by the boss. It's because the boss thinks he is too weak and will hold back our team. Lin Yuan laughed dumbly. He really didn't expect that there would be such an episode between Guanshang and Shen Shao. Yun Tingting was finishing her blows at the side and said, why is it too weak? That guy is trash. He can't compare to me in mental strength, and the illusions he creates have no sense of reality at all. Who can think highly of him? Lin Yuan felt slightly stunned when he heard Yun Tingting belittle Guanshong in this way. At any rate, Guanshong is ranked 4th in the rankings. But when it comes to their mouth, it seems to be a worthless waste. Of course, Lin Yuan was very happy to hear it. Shen Xiao didn't mean to joke with everyone. He said seriously to Lin Yuan, I can give you time to think about it. Just reply to me before the martial arts test results come out. Subsequently, Shen Xiao wrote his phone number to Lin Yuan. Since there was no pen and paper, Shen Xiao directly dipped some of the blood of the alien beasts into it and wrote on a piece of animal skin. This guy is really informal. After the actual combat assessment, they were quickly taken out of this city of strange beasts by the warriors responsible for guiding them. Up to this moment, all the content of the martial arts test has been completed. Next, wait until the results are released. He will officially enter the military university to study as a college student. Lin Yuan took a deep breath of the slightly **** air around him, raised his head, and looked at the blue sky in the distance. Magic City Wuhan University, here I come. On the day the results came out, Lin Yuan was not too excited. Because he had known for a long time that, with his grades, although he could not get the top spot in Zhenhai City, it was more than enough to get admitted to Wuhan University in the Magic City. However, Lin Yuan's parents were very excited. This is Wuhan University, the magical capital. A top school as famous as Yanjing Wuhan University. Father Lin could not wait to set up a 50-large table immediately and invite all relatives and friends to a banquet to share the good news. As for Zhenhai City's top scorer in the martial arts examination this year, it did not go beyond Lin Yuan's expectations. That's it, Shen Xiao. Shen Xiao's literary test scores are very good, coupled with his almost unparalleled basic test scores and practical test scores. Without even thinking about it, the title of No. 1 scholar in Zhenhai City was definitely in the bag. Chapter 31. Although Lin Yuan's literary test scores ranked first in the city, the literary test accounted for only 35% of the total score, so this did not bring him much advantage. His total martial arts examination score ranked 27th in Zhenhai City. Although it is not as eye-catching as Shen Xiao, it is still a very good ranking. Lin Yuan also took a brief look at those whose total martial arts test scores ranked among the top 5 in Zhenhai City. It goes without saying that the first place is the best. Second place, Zhenhai No. 1 Middle School, Tonghu. Third place, Zhenhai No. 2 Middle School, Butterbur. Fourth place, Zhenhai No. 1 Middle School, Tangdiwan. Fifth place, Zhenhai No. 2 Middle School, Moluli. I have to say that although Shen Xiao occupied the top spot in the martial arts examination in Zhenhai City, the overall strength of Zhenhai No. 3 Middle School is indeed not as good as the other two schools. Among the top 5, no one except Shen Xiao is on the list. Even among the top 10, only Chen Ji and Yun Tingting are on the list. Although the total score in the martial arts test does not absolutely represent the strength of one's strength, it does not have too much deviation. After checking the results of the martial arts exam, Lin Yuan immediately dialed Shen Xiao's phone number. How about it? Have you considered it? Would you like to join our hunting team? Shen Xiao's voice soon rang from the other end of the phone. But this time, the selection system was triggered again. Option 1. Reject Shen Xiao's invitation and choose to go out of the city alone to hunt strange beasts. Reward: 1,000 points of qi and blood, 1,000 her spiritual power, boxing technique, Tiger Bend Fist. Option 2. Accept Shen Xiao's invitation and join the hunting team. Reward: 1,000 points of qi and blood, 1,000 HZ of mental power, sword skills, 7 styles of Ju Dao. After the option was triggered, Lin Yuan was slightly surprised. You should know that when Shen Xiao first invited him to join the hunting team, there was no option to trigger it. It seems that the system will be triggered only when you really decide to make a choice. Lin Yuan looked at it briefly. The rewards of these two options seem to be about the same. In other words, this time, Lin Yuan can make a choice based on his own will without considering the reward. To join or not to join? Lin Yuan hesitated for a moment, and finally made a decision. I am willing to join the team. Very good. Then from now on, we are companions. Shen Xiao paused and said again, also, get ready as soon as possible. In 5 days, we will go out of the city to hunt strange beasts. So fast. Lin Yuan was slightly surprised, but he started to respond. No matter what, he wanted to go out of the city to experience something. Although there are dangers outside the city, it is also full of opportunities. Going out of the city to hunt strange beasts can not only hone his practical experience but also sharpen a person's mind. There are never any beautiful flowers blooming in the greenhouse. In the midst of blood and fire, only the truly strong can emerge. During these 5 days, Lin Yuan did a lot of things. He first went to the school and filled out his application form, and then signed a contract with the martial arts gym and officially joined the Junhai Martial Arts Gym. Martial arts schools in this era are not just places for practicing martial arts. Members of the martial arts gym can exchange their experiences in the martial arts gym. The trading house inside the martial arts gym will also sell some items related to practice, such as weapons, protective clothing, medicines, genetic fluids, martial arts skills, etc. There are many things that are almost impossible to buy outside. This is the privilege of a warrior. Even more, the martial arts gym will issue some tasks regularly for the martial artists in the gym to complete, and will issue corresponding rewards. Don't say anything else. After joining the Junhai Martial Arts School and becoming a senior student there, even if he doesn't have to do anything, Lin Yuan can get a subsidy of 5,000 yuan every month. This amount of money will be credited to his card on time every month. It is said to be a subsidy, but in fact it is just an investment by the martial arts school in senior students like them. Once someone can break through to the 7th level of martial arts, that is, the realm of martial arts master, then all investments are worth it. Martial arts halls are like modern sect forces. The more powerful the force, the more resources for cultivation it can obtain. The most important factor to measure whether a martial arts gym is powerful is how many martial arts masters or above it has in combat. For example, the founder of Junhai Martial Arts School is a 9th level strongman who came out of Junhai City. The king of overturning the sea, Zhang Zhen. The 9th level strongman can be called the king of heaven. Similarly, Zhang Zhen is also the biggest brand of Junhai Martial Arts School. The reason why Junhai Martial Arts School has been able to develop so fast over the years is entirely due to Zhang Zhen's fame and strength. This is the energy possessed by a 9th level warrior. He can raise tall buildings with just a wave of his hand. Just thinking about this, Lin Yuan couldn't help but feel his blood boiling. One day, perhaps it's not a bad idea for me to become the heavenly king. After possessing the system, Lin Yuan also possessed something that he had never had before. That's ambition. If a young man has high ambitions, there will be thunder and lightning in all 9 states. Late night. The moon and stars are sparse, and the night is sultry. Lin Yuan sat casually on the rooftop, enjoying the evening breeze blowing in his face, and listening to a phone call in his ear. Are you going out of the city to hunt strange beasts tomorrow? The voice that rang on the other end of the phone was naturally Chu Yu's. After confirming that he would be escorted to Wuhan University in the Demon City, Chu Yu went directly to the Demon City. After all, her family is all over there. However, she still cares about Lin Yuan. After the martial arts test results came out, Chu Yu called him almost every day. Well, we will set off tomorrow. We have made an agreement with Shen Xiao and the others. Okay, then you must pay attention to safety and don't be in any danger. Chu Yu's voice was very soft, even softer than the evening wind. Lin Yuan's heart was a little excited, and he smiled and said, "Don't worry, I'll be fine. You just stay in the Magic City and I will come find you when school starts." Well, I'll wait for you then. Chu Yu was smiling, and there was a hint of coquettishness in his tone, as if a little girl was acting coquettishly. Then, Chu Yu hung up the phone gently, with a faint smile on his lips. Although Lin Yuan has become a bit mysterious, who doesn't want the person he likes to become better? I'm waiting for you to become stronger, then come to me. Of course, I have to seize the time to become stronger. In this way, I won't hold brother Lin Yuan back. As Chu Yu thought about it, He sat up and stretched his arms, lazily and comfortably, like a cute cat stretching its muscles. There are still more than 50 days until the start of school, it's so difficult. Chu Yu pursed her lips. This was the first time in her life that she felt that the vacation was so long. The second day, 9 o'clock in the morning. Lin Yuan finished breakfast and hurried to the North Gate to gather. In their era, every city was isolated by a defensive barrier. The same goes for Junhai City, with only 4 city gates in the east, south, west and north open. Otherwise, manpower alone will not be able to prevent the endless emergence of strange beasts. At the early stage of the source energy explosion, a 9th-level magic eagle once passed by a medium-sized town at high altitude. It just erupted with a scream, a roaring sound that easily destroyed most of the buildings in the city. Deaths and wounds everywhere. Fortunately, martial arts and technology have developed to where they are today. Even if it is a 9th-level alien beast, if it wants to invade a gathering place of humans, I am afraid it will have to carefully consider whether it has the capital. Shen Xiao and Yun Tingting are already waiting at the north gate. Good morning, little monster. As soon as she saw Lin Yuan, Yun Tingting greeted him with a smile. Lin Yuan was speechless for a while. Say hello when you say hello. What's going on with this little monster? Isn't Chen Ji here yet? Lin Yuan looked around and found that he was not there. Well, that guy got up late and may have to arrive later. Shen Xiao asked, have you prepared everything that should be prepared? Lin Yuan patted the backpack behind him, it's all in here. In addition, he also brought an alloy steel knife and a hunting watch on his wrist. Among them, he received the hunting watch for free from the martial arts gym. After wearing this watch, every time a 3rd level or above exotic beast is hunted, it will be counted, and the Ministry of Military Affairs will issue corresponding subsidies. The higher the level of the alien beast, the more amount will be distributed. For example, the subsidy for killing a 3rd-level beast is 50 yuan. Level 4 exotic beasts, 300 yuan each. 5th level exotic beast, 1,000 yuan each. 6th level exotic beast, 5,000 yuan per head. Although the amount of money is not large, it is an additional subsidy after all. Warriors who go out of the city to hunt strange beasts for money all know that the materials on the beasts are the truly valuable things. Furthermore, this can be regarded as a way for the Ministry of Military Affairs to encourage warriors to hunt exotic beasts. The fewer alien beasts there are in the outside world, the greater the living space for humans will be. What's more, many warriors achieved breakthroughs in the process of fighting strange beasts. As for the alloy steel knife in Lin Yuan's hand, he didn't get it for free. But he spent 5,000 yuan to buy it from the internal mall of Junhai Martial Arts School, which just cost him 1 month's allowance. Although Lin Yuan felt a little sad, he felt that the money was well spent. This alloy steel knife is sharp and hard, and can easily cut the fur of 4th-level alien beasts. What's more, the system has just rewarded Lin Yuan with a sword technique called 7 Styles of Ju Dao. No matter how good your sword skills are, how can you use them without a long sword? Sorry, I'm a little late. Chen Ji's voice rang in everyone's ears. He was seen carrying a huge black tactical backpack, his face was red, and he was panting. He had obviously run all the way. Shen Xiao nodded and said, since everyone is here, let's set off. The scorching sun is hanging in the sky, and the sun is dry and scorching. The martial arts exam has just ended, and it is the hottest weather at this time. After leaving the city gate not far away, Shen Xiao stopped and turned around. This is your first time in the wilderness area. I would like to emphasize the rules that you must abide by. The area protected by a protective cover is called a safe area. Correspondingly, it is called a wilderness area. First, the wilderness area is full of dangers. You are absolutely not allowed to act alone without permission. Second, there must be no internal strife between team members. Any gains will be fairly distributed by the team leader. Third, we are not a formal hunting team after all. If we encounter any unexpected situation, our primary goal is to protect our own lives. Have you understood? After Shen Xiao said these words, everyone nodded. These rules, although harsh, are all iron rules that must be followed in the wilderness area. Now that you understand, I'll be responsible for assigning tasks. Yun Tingting, you are a telepathic person, you are responsible for suppressing the strange beasts. Chen Ji, Lin Yuan, you two are responsible for fighting the strange beasts. As for me, I will take action at the critical moment and give the alien beast a fatal blow. If a special situation occurs, I will conduct on-the-spot command. During the battle, it is best not to mess up your position. Shen Xiao assigned everyone's tasks in an orderly manner. If I could use one word to describe him, it would be thoughtful. Even a veteran warrior who has been through life and death for many years would not be able to find anything wrong with his tactical arrangements. After everyone said there was no problem, the hunting team continued to move forward along the desolate trail. This area close to the town is relatively safe. Even some sporadic strange beasts will be quickly killed by warriors patrolling the city. So, if you want to hunt exotic animals, you must go deep into the wilderness area. Mo Yu walked for 20 minutes when Yun Tingting said, "Everyone, be careful, I seem to have sensed the presence of a strange beast." Lin Yuan looked surprised. "Your mental strength is high, can you still sense the existence of strange beasts? Isn't this exactly equivalent to a human detector?" No one thought that Yun Tingting would joke about such a thing. So, even though everyone found no traces of strange beasts around, they all put on a vigilant posture. At this moment, the grassland in front of us suddenly shook. A colorful venomous snake as thick as a forearm suddenly flew out of the grass and bit Chen Ji, who was closest to it. Second-level exotic beast, flower-tailed snake. Chen Ji's face darkened, and he quickly drew out the long alloy knife from his waist, and instantly cut the flower-tailed snake in front of him into two pieces from the middle. The precision of its sword movement is jaw-dropping. Yun Tingting exclaimed, "Chen Ji, you." Chen Ji smiled and said, "What? Are you shocked by my sword?" Yun Tingting angrily scolded, "I want to say, you idiot. If you kill this snake directly, how can we sell the snake skin for money?" Chen Ji, I was so busy drawing my sword that I really forgot about this. They went out to hunt exotic beasts on this trip, not only to temper themselves, but also to earn their first pot of gold. It is absolutely impossible to practice martial arts without money. Even if each of their families is relatively wealthy, no matter how wealthy the family is, as long as they have not reached the level of a wealthy family, it is almost impossible to support their children all the way to the level of a master. The journey to martial arts is ultimately something you have to fight for yourself. Looking at Chen Ji being scolded by Yun Tingting until he couldn't even speak, Lin Yuan also secretly laughed in his heart. However, this incident also reminded him. That is, in the process of fighting alien beasts, it is best to pick out the weaknesses of the alien beasts. In this way, the integrity of the materials on the exotic beasts can be better ensured. For example, if the skin of the flower-tailed snake in front of you were peeled off completely, it could be sold for around 2,000 yuan at least. But after Chen Ji's cunning operation of cutting it off, it was a blessing to be able to sell the torn snake skin for 200 yuan. After this short interlude, everyone moved on. Soon, an abandoned town appeared in front of them. Before the spiritual energy revived and the source energy exploded, this place should also be a prosperous city. It's a pity that it is now reduced to a ruins, sitting alone in this wasteland. Brace yourself and get ready to go to the city. A hint of excitement flashed through Shen Xiao's eyes. This is the destination of their trip. It has to be said that the concentration of strange beasts here is not comparable to that of the wilderness they passed through before. Because, just standing outside the town, Lin Yuan could hear the roars and roars of strange beasts. Let's not go deep, just hunt some lone strange beasts on the edge of the town. After Shen Xiao finished speaking, he waved directly and led everyone towards the city. A huge, pitch-black dog was lying at the entrance of an abandoned parking lot, saliva dripping from its mouth. Fourth-level alien beast, scorpion-tailed demon dog. The reason why it is named scorpion tail is because the tail of this canine beast is covered with sharp barbs, just like the poisonous tail of a scorpion. Finally met a big guy. Chen Ji licked the corners of his mouth, looking particularly excited. However, Lin Yuan's expression looked a little strange. Because the option appeared before him again. Option 1. In a team battle, assist your teammates in killing the scorpion tail demon dog, and you will be rewarded with 1,000 points of vitality and 1,000 spiritual power. Option 2. Crazy output and take the final blow. Reward 2,500 blood points and 1,000 mental power. After the option conditions are met, the rewards will be automatically distributed. If you fail to meet the option requirements after making a choice, the task reward will be reset to 0. This can all trigger options. Lin Yuan was really shocked. However, after hesitating for a moment, Lin Yuan chose the second option. It's not just that option 2 has more rewards. Also expresses Lin Yuan's attitude. I, Lin Yuan, will never swim in the water, and I will not be a fool. However, it is really difficult to the final blow from Shen Xiao. Just as Lin Yuan was thinking about countermeasures, Yun Tingting had already chosen to take action. Eyes of the Phantom Moon. 2 bright white full moons appeared out of thin air in Yun Tingting's beautiful eyes. The scorpion-tailed demon dog seemed to be aware of the crisis and stood up directly. It's a pity that Yun Tingting's illusion has already affected its brain. The scorpion-tailed demon dog instantly fell into a brief state of sluggishness. While it's now, Chen Ji and Lin Yuan suddenly rushed out from both sides, their blades pointed at the strange beasts. Be careful, don't chop off this guy's scorpion tail. Yun Tingting reminded loudly from the side, for fear that Chen Ji would be stupid again at the critical moment. The scorpion tail devil dog's tail covered with spikes is its most valuable material. If it could be taken off completely, it could be sold for at least 50,000 yuan on the black market. After all, this thing is a rare hidden weapon material. Kang, the scorpion tail demon dog's fur is so tough, it's almost like fine steel. With the sound of gold and iron interlacing, the alloy swords of Lin Yuan and Chen Ji only left 2 faint marks. The alien beast is really powerful. Some high-level warriors once asserted that at least 70% of warriors of the same level are no match for strange beasts of the same level. Compared with them, the alien beasts have greater innate advantages, are more ferocious, and more bloody. Blood armor. Shen Xiao gave a low drink, his energy and blood were released, and his blood coagulated into armor. I don't know if it was Lin Yuan's illusion, but he always felt that the blood armor on Shen Xiao was much more solid than the day he fought against Butterbur. It seems that these martial arts geniuses are making progress every day. Even if you have a system by your side, you must not be proud of it. Shen Xiao stepped forward with an arrow, his figure flashed past like thunder, and suddenly punched the scorpion-tailed demon dog's back. Even though the scorpion-tailed demon dog's fur was as hard as iron, its flesh was still deeply dented by the full blow of Shen Xiao, a 4th-level peak warrior. As the force was transmitted, the body flew sideways and fell heavily on the wall beside it. What a hard blow! Chen Ji clicked his tongue and sighed. Shen Xiao said in a deep voice, "Don't talk nonsense, come up together to surround and kill this strange beast." Lin Yuan directly opened the Sharingan, and the weaknesses of the scorpion-tailed demon dog were immediately revealed in front of him. However, he had to wait until the most critical moment before he could make a killing move. Because only in this way can he take the final blow from Shen Xiao's hands. Under the attack of the 3 people, more and more scars began to appear on the body of the scorpion-tailed demon dog. Whenever it gets up and wants to escape, Yun Tingting on the periphery will open the Eye of the Phantom Moon, in time, forcibly suppressing its mental power and causing it to fall into a brief state of dizziness. The scorpion-tailed demon dog can no longer hold on any longer, so use all your strength to kill it directly. Shen Xiao roared, punched like thunder, and hit the head of the scorpion-tailed demon dog with one punch. Pong! This muffled sound was heard, and the scorpion-tailed demon dog was directly stunned by the punch. Chen Ji seized the opportunity, rushed forward, holding an alloy steel knife, pointed the blade directly at the eye socket of the alien beast, and stabbed it hard in the eyeball. Roar! Suffering from pain, the scorpion-tailed demon dog burst out with an extremely shrill wail. At the same time, it was running around like crazy, as if trying to fight for the last chance of survival. Chen Ji was unwilling to draw his sword and did not let go. He was directly pushed up by the scorpion-tailed demon dog and could not land at all. Shen Xiao just wanted to rescue him, but he found that Lin Yuan's attack speed was even faster than him. The opportunity came. Lin Yuan clenched the alloy sword in his hand and flew out like a light swallow. The moment he was about to hit the scorpion-tailed demon dog, Lin Yuan instantly leaned over and ducked under it as if skating. At the same time, the alloy long knife in his hand slashed towards the belly of the scorpion-tailed demon dog in an extremely weird arc. 7 moves of the Ju Dao, the 5th move, the wind and the remaining clouds. The characteristic of the 7 Ju sword styles is that the sword is sharp and the sword is instantly killed. Every sword strike is a killing move. And this, wind rolling cloud, is the fastest sword among the 7 styles of the Ju sword. Tisk. The alloy long knife in Lin Yuan's hand easily cut open the scorpion-tailed demon dog's abdomen in an instant. Because this is the softest place on this strange beast, Lin Yuan showed no mercy at all. The scorpion-tailed demon dog's abdomen was directly cut with a huge wound. Even the intestines in the belly of the alien beast were directly smashed to pieces by Lin Yuan's knife. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully completing the choice. You will be rewarded with 3,000 points of vitality and 1,000 points of mental power. Lin Yuan wiped the blood on his face and smiled with satisfaction. The last blow was finally taken by me. When Lin Yuan slashed out this sword, even Shen Xiao was slightly surprised. With his eyesight, he could naturally see how precisely Lin Yuan controlled the timing of this sword strike. No unnecessary actions. Not sloppy at all. One knife, immediate death. Lin Yuan, your sword skills are good. Where did you learn them? Chen Ji pulled out his alloy sword directly from the scorpion-tailed demon dog's eye socket, and said with a surprised look on his face. Lin Yuan smiled. I created it myself. Powerful. Chen Ji also has a good eye, so he can naturally feel the extraordinariness of Lin Yuan's previous sword. While the two were talking, Yun Tingting had already cut off the scorpion-tailed demon dog's tail that was covered with spikes. Hee, I got 30,000 yuan. Yun Tingting carefully wrapped the spikes on her tail in cloth and put it into her backpack. Chen Ji said scornfully from the side, a money lover. Yun Tingting rolled her eyes and said angrily, you don't love money, just don't share the spoils with us when the time comes. Lin Yuan didn't pay attention to the bickering between the two, but walked straight to the body of the scorpion-tailed demon dog and peeled off all the fur on it. However, Shen Xiao shook his head and said, no need to skin it, we can't take it away. Lin Yuan was slightly startled, can't you take it with you? Shen Xiao nodded and said, yes, because the backpack space is limited, we can only bring back valuable materials as much as possible. Lin Yuan understood. There are 4 of them, and the total space in their backpacks is just that much, so naturally they can't carry much. So, a lot of materials are destined to be wasted. Just like this animal skin that Lin Yuan just peeled off. Although it is not as valuable as Thorntail, it can be sold for at least 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. Pity. Just when Lin Yuan was about to throw away the animal skin in his hand, an option appeared in front of him again. Option 1. Say out loud, the system dad is so handsome, and you will be rewarded with 500 cubic meters of system space. Option 2. Ignore option 1, refuse to recognize the handsomeness of the system's father, and be rewarded with the title, liar. Lin Yuan. It is really miserable for him to have such a cheating system. However, Lin Yuan was very surprised by the 500 cubic meters of space awarded by the system. Because, this is exactly what he needs urgently right now. After much thought, Lin Yuan finally decided to endure the humiliation and bear the burden. Lin Yuan took a deep breath and said softly, System dad is so handsome. System prompt. The sound is too soft and has not yet reached the system standard. This system is really cheap. Lin Yuan raised his voice again. System dad is so handsome. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully making the choice. The reward is 500 cubic meters of system space. Lin Yuan was overjoyed. He finally got it. At this moment, Shen Xiao asked in confusion, Lin Yuan, did you call someone just now? Lin Yuan denied it at the speed of light. No, you heard it wrong. Shen Xiao glanced at him suspiciously. Maybe I was hallucinating. Subsequently, without anyone noticing, Lin Yuan quietly put the animal skin in his hand into the system space. If he were not afraid of being discovered by others, Lin Yuan would even want to stuff the entire body of the scorpion-tailed demon dog into the system space. After owning the system space, the biggest benefit Lin Yuan can gain is he can put all the materials from the alien beasts that cannot be taken away into the system space. Pack them all up and take them away. After killing the scorpion-tailed demon dog, everyone did not waste time and continued to sweep around the perimeter. In just one day, they hunted at least nearly 30 strange beasts. Among them, they hunted nearly 10 of the 4th-level beasts alone. Night falls. For safety reasons, everyone did not choose to continue hunting the strange beasts. Instead, they found an abandoned high-rise building and prepared to rest for the night. They blocked the entrance to the stairs and lit a bonfire in the room. Shen Xiao arranged, "Chen Ji, you will be responsible for keeping watch during the first half of the night, and I will be responsible for the second half of the night." Receive. Chen Ji responded seriously. In a wilderness area, where strange beasts are rampant, even within a high-rise building, it may not necessarily be safe. So, someone must keep vigil at night. Under the light of the bonfire, Yun Tingting gathered everyone's backpacks together, and like a money addict, she calculated how much the materials in these backpacks could be sold for. As the materials from the alien beasts were piled into a small mountain by her, the smile on Yun Tingting's face became brighter and brighter. The harvest this time is not small. However, suddenly, Yun Tingting became sad again and wailed, "It's only the first day and our backpacks are full. What should we do? You can't throw away part of it, right? I can't bear to part with it." The exotic beast materials in the backpack have been carefully selected by them, and they are worth at least tens of thousands. If you throw away any more of this, it will be like cutting off Yun Tingting's flesh. Although Lin Yuan had system space, he did not choose to speak. Because this is his secret. If it is exposed, it may cause him a lot of trouble. Chen Ji suggested, "How about we hide these exotic beast materials somewhere and come back to get them when we are about to return?" Yun Tingting thought for a while, then frowned and said, "But that's not much. And, what if someone else takes it away?" Chen Ji said sarcastically, "It seems so." Just when everyone was undecided, Shen Xiao finally spoke, "Don't worry, I will take you to a place tomorrow to dispose of these materials first." Lin Yuan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. In this wilderness area, where strange beasts are rampant, there is still a place that can process these materials. One night passed quickly. Although he was sleeping on the cold concrete floor, having a place to rest in the wilderness area was pretty good. And for warriors like them, 4 or 5 hours of sleep is enough to restore energy. Even more fortunately, no strange beast appeared and attacked them throughout the night. Time to go. Shen Xiao took the lead in picking up his backpack and walked towards the door. Before starting to hunt the exotic beasts again, they need to get rid of the materials in the backpack. Everyone did not hesitate and followed Shen Xiao's pace. Since the purpose was to deal with the exotic beast materials in the backpack, they did not actively provoke the alien beasts along the way. After wandering around the city for about half an hour, Shen Xiao took them directly to an abandoned villa. Although Lin Yuan can still feel the luxury of this villa from its appearance. But after being dilapidated for so long, the entire villa was as desolate as a haunted house. This is it. Shen Xiao climbed up the steps and pushed open the door of the villa. However, a muscular, bald man suddenly stopped in front of him and stared at him with evil eyes. Everyone was about to take action subconsciously, but Shen Xiao stopped him with a gesture. "Hello, I'm looking for Master Gui. We are here to sell materials," Shen Xiao said calmly. After hearing the word, "Ghost Master," the expression of the bald man obviously changed. At the very least, no longer hostile. The bald man glanced around coldly and said, "You dare to hunt exotic animals at such a young age, and are you not afraid of risking your life in the wilderness?" Shen Xiao smiled. "It's just practice. Come in." The bald man took a step back and let everyone in. After checking that they did not carry any dangerous items, the bald man led them towards the interior of the villa. In a room, he fumbled for a while and lifted up a stone slab, revealing a downward passage. "Go down, the ghost is down there. Thank you very much." After saying thank you, Shen Xiao walked directly down the dark passage in front of him. After he set off, Lin Yuan and others followed him. Then, only a muffled sound was heard, and the bald man quietly closed the stone slab. The surroundings became pitch black again. Chen Ji licked the corner of his mouth and said, "That guy just now is so strong. I'm afraid he must be at least the 5th level of strength. I actually felt oppressed when I was next to him." Shen Xiao said, "He is Master Gui's personal bodyguard, so he is certainly strong enough." Chen Ji asked. So, this ghost master's strength should be quite good. No, Master Gui is a pure businessman and does not practice martial arts. Chen Ji said in astonishment. Not even a warrior. Right, then he's not afraid that someone wants to kill him. Logically speaking, the bald man should come down with them. Because Master Gui is not even a warrior, if they have murderous intentions, doesn't he have no ability to protect himself at all? Shen Shao smiled and said, touch the wall next to you. Although Chen Ji was a little confused, he still did what he did. Do you feel it? Good eyes. The walls here. Daughter made of metal. Well, that's right. Shen Shao opened his mouth and explained. Although Master Gui is not a warrior, he is a person with supernatural powers. And his superpower is extremely special and can penetrate any inanimate body in a short period of time. Chen Ji seemed to understand somewhat. In other words, if someone really wants to kill him, he only needs to penetrate directly into the metal wall, and no one can do anything to him. Right, that is it. Chen Ji sighed with emotion. There are such mysterious powers. It's a pity that this ghost master is not a warrior. If this penetrating ability is used in actual combat, I wonder what miraculous effects it can produce. Shen Shao opened his mouth and said, everyone has his or her own ambitions, and you can't force them. Lin Yuan on the side asked, by the way, Shen Shao, how do you know this place? Judging from his tone, this is definitely not his first time here. After Lin Yuan asked the question, Shen Shao did not hide anything. He explained calmly, after I broke through to the third-level warrior, I often followed other hunting teams here to hunt strange beasts. So, this can be regarded as some experience accumulated at that time. Lin Yuan stopped talking. This Shen Shao is indeed a ruthless person, he is so ruthless to himself. When others first broke through to the third level of martial arts, they were probably still complacent and enjoying the admiration of others in the school. But Shen Shao chose to go out of the city to hunt strange beasts, risking his life to seek an opportunity for a breakthrough in martial arts. It seems that there is a reason why Shen Shao was able to win the top prize in the martial arts examination in Zhenhai City. The passage was not long, and everyone quickly reached the end. After turning a corner, they came to a dimly lit room. In the center of the room is a purple wooden square table. There were boxes piled up all around, and it seemed that they were all filled with exotic animal materials. Master Gui, we are here to process materials. Shen Shao took the backpack from everyone's hands, stepped forward, and dumped all the exotic beast materials in the backpack on the table. Subsequently, he wisely stepped back and kept a safe distance. A thin figure stood up, walked out of the shadows, and began to pick up the materials on the table. Under the dim light in the room, Lin Yuan was able to see clearly the appearance of the ghost master. He is not old, he just looks like a middle-aged man, but his face is a little haggard and pale, and his body is slightly stooped. After selecting for a while, Master Gui raised his head and said in a hoarse voice, I can give you 40% of the price. These materials total 320,000. Although Lin Yuan and the others had long been prepared for the price to be reduced, they did not expect that they would be so severely reduced, and they directly cut off a full 60%. You know, if you take these materials back and sell them, they can sell for at least 700,000 to 800,000 yuan. 40% is too little. Shen Shao shook his head and stretched out his thumb and little finger. I want 60%, at least 60%. Master Gui was silent for a while, then suddenly laughed. However, coupled with his haggard face, his smile makes people feel very scary. Okay, then it's 60%. It's a rare exception, just think I'm investing in you. From now on, if you have any good things that are hard to get rid of, just come to me. After Mr. Gui said these words, everyone's faces also showed joy. 60%, that's 480,000. Compared with the previous 320,000, it was a full 160,000 more. Even if the four of them are divided equally, each of them can get at least 40,000 more. However, Lin Yuan knew deep down in his heart that Shen Shao had won this for them. If it weren't for Shen Shao, Master Gui might not be so easy to talk to. After all, what businessmen value most is rules and money. The reason why Master Gui made an exception for Shen Shao this time has been made clear. It is investing in Shen Shao. Of course he knows that Shen Xiao is the top scorer in this year's martial arts exam. So what Mr. Ghost is interested in is his potential. If Shen Xiao can one day break through to the realm of martial arts master or even higher. So, if Shen Xiao still has some old feelings, let him be responsible for handling the exotic beast materials. Even a 10% profit would be enough for him to make a lot of money. After all, the materials on any high-level alien beast start from dozens or even millions. Report your bank card number to me, and the 480,000 will be transferred to your account after I finish processing the materials on my return trip. Shen Xiao nodded and said, okay. A broker like Gui Yi will usually return for processing only after receiving enough materials. After processing the materials, everyone's faces could not hide their excitement. This is just the first day, and they have earned hundreds of thousands. It is indeed true to say that the poor in literature and the rich in military affairs are poor. Furthermore, everyone's actual combat experience has been greatly improved by fighting such high-intensity beasts. Boss, how about we go a little deeper today? I feel like the exotic beasts on the periphery are a bit underwhelming. After walking out of the villa, Chen Ji tentatively suggested. However, Shen Xiao was very cautious, shook his head and refused. No, even the outer area is already quite dangerous. Once you go deep inside and encounter high-level alien beasts, you won't even have a chance to escape. Lin Yuan also nodded and said, you're right, we mainly focus on experience this time, there is no need to take unnecessary risks. Chen Ji felt that what the two people said made sense, and immediately gave up the plan to go deeper. While the few people were talking, they didn't realize at all that a pair of eyes were secretly observing them from a tall building not far away. That guy is Lin Yuan. A scarred man with a cigarette in his mouth put down the telescope in his hand and asked calmly. Yes, it's him who caused my nephew Guanxiang to fail the martial arts exam this year and even have some mental problems. I never expected that this guy would dare to hang out in the wilderness area after taking the martial arts test. Another middle-aged man, with a gloomy face, spoke angrily. He is Guan Zhang's uncle, Guan Long. A few years ago, when he was following a small team to hunt exotic beasts, something happened and he was hit in the vital part by a strange beast. Since then, he has lost his fertility and will never have children in this life. It is precisely because of this that he cares about his nephew and is particularly doting on him, almost treating him as his own. Even the golden tree fruit that Guanxiang lost to Lin Yuan was bought by Guanlong at a huge price to help him make his martial arts exam smoother. But now, because of Lin Yuan, Guan Zhang's actual combat assessment scores were directly cleared, and even his spirit was affected. You must know that spiritual power is the foundation of spiritual practice. Lin Yuan, he really deserves to die. The scarred man put out the cigarette in his hand, turned to the other person, and said, Boss, how do you think this matter should be handled? Guan Long is our brother, and his affairs are our affairs. So, the man with the scar called the boss was a tall man with a Shira demon tattooed on his chest. He directly stretched out his right hand and made a gesture of wiping his neck. The intention is very obvious. That means there is nothing to say, just kill him. The scarred man narrowed his eyes. You want to kill someone? Boss, there seems to be a martial arts champion from Junhai City in their team. If they are killed together, will they cause any trouble? Wang Jian, when did you become so cowardly? Guan Long frowned. Anyway, we are in the wilderness area. If we kill, we will kill. How will anyone know? Han Dong, you are the captain, I respect you, it's up to you to decide this matter. However, no matter what, I must avenge my nephew. Even if you don't follow me, I have to kill that kid alone to relieve the hatred in my heart. The Han Dong Guan Long mentioned was the tall man with the evil ghost tattooed on his chest and the captain of their hunting team. He said, Guan Long, don't be so anxious. We are all brothers, and we cannot let you take risks alone. Besides, these are just a few young guys who have just finished their martial arts exams. How capable can they be? It's so easy to kill them. Scarred King Jian also sneered coldly at this time. Guan Long, I didn't say I wouldn't help you, look at how anxious you are. What I mean is, if we want to kill, let's do it more simply. Kill them all, don't let anyone go, and then destroy the corpses and destroy all traces. In this way, no news will leak out naturally. They are all professional hunters who hang out in wilderness areas all year round. They probably do a lot of killing and stealing. For human life, of course he takes an extremely indifferent view. Since you have a grudge, then kill him. As long as the news doesn't leak out, no one will be able to trace them. Guan Long nodded and said with a gloomy face, since you are willing to help me, let's make a plan and let's do it. If you dare to attack my nephew, I will make that boy repent in hell. At this moment, Han Dong spoke again. He sneered and said, do you remember that there is a 5th-level strange beast in this area? Guan Long thought for a moment and said, are you talking about the 5th-level lion mastiff? Wang Jian on the side quickly reacted, you mean, you deliberately led the lion mastiff to them? Han Dong sneered and nodded. In this way, it can not only contain Shen Shao, the strongest fighting force, but also make the scene look like they were killed by strange beasts. It's completely killing 2 birds with 1 stone. In that case, let me lead the lion mastiff over. Guan Long licked the corner of his mouth and took out a packet of powder directly from his arms. This is the bloody incense, made from bloodthirsty mushrooms. Once it is spread in the air, it can stimulate the bloodiness of alien beasts to a great extent. Cut. Lin Yuan slashed out with his sword, and the Shadow Cat Demon in front of him fell to the ground with his head. Although the Shadow Cat Demon is a 4th-level monster known for its speed was infinitely slowed down to the extreme in front of Lin Yuan's Sharingan. Lin Yuan seized the flaw, took action boldly, and easily completed the kill. Brother Yuan, your sword skills have improved a lot. Chen Ji looked on and said cheerfully. To deal with this kind of early-stage 4th-level strange beast, Lin Yuan didn't need his help at all. He only needed to shout 666 from the side. Lin Yuan smiled and wiped away the blood on the alloy sword. I have to say that after going through so many battles, his 7 styles of Ju sword have indeed improved a lot. Yun Tingting was not idle either. She walked forward and peeled off the skin of the Shadow Cat Demon with ease. Lin Yuan cut off the Shadow Cat Demon's head with a straight sword, so there was almost no damage to the fur. You must know that the skin of the Shadow Cat Demon is one of the best materials for making protective clothing. This material is both light and tough, and even ordinary alloy long knives cannot cut it off. The damaged hides can be sold for at least 30,000 to 40,000 yuan. And a complete animal skin starts at least 70,000 yuan. Lin Yuan, I love you so much. After completely peeling off the animal skin in front of her, Yun Tingting smiled and blew a kiss directly to Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan chuckled and said, I can't bear it. Chen Ji also joked, I think you love money. Yun Tingting raised her pretty eyebrows and said angrily, I want you to take care of it. At this moment, a violent roar of beasts suddenly came from not far away. Under this roar, even the surrounding windows began to tremble slightly. Everyone's hearts trembled, they instantly became vigilant, and they all got into fighting postures. It is absolutely impossible for a low-level alien beast to cause such a scene. Be careful. Shen Shao also had a solemn look on his face and subconsciously protected everyone behind him. His subconscious told him that this matter was definitely not that simple. Roar. Another beast roar sounded, and a huge beast shadow jumped directly from the 4-story building, leaving a huge hole in the ground. When the smoke and dust clears, everyone finally saw the true face of this strange beast in front of them. This is an extremely ferocious beast, like a combination of a lion and a Tibetan mastiff. Its hair is golden, and its huge body seems to contain extremely violent power. Lion mastiff. Shen Shao's complexion completely changed. After he broke through to the 3rd-level warrior, he began to enter the wilderness area to hunt strange beasts. Naturally, he recognized the type of strange beast in front of him at a glance. 5th-level exotic beast, lion mastiff. This alien beast is extremely ferocious. Regardless of its strength, speed or explosive power, it is in the first echelon among alien beasts of the same level. It has almost no shortcomings. Therefore, even 5th-level warriors rarely take the initiative to provoke lion mastiffs when they are alone. Shen Shao's face was as sinking as water. Now, things are getting difficult. Fortunately, Shen Shao has rich experience in hunting strange beasts, and he still remains calm even in the face of such a dangerous situation. Yun Tingting, suppress the lion mastiff as much as possible. I will be the main attacker. Lin Yuan and Chen Ji, and you two will assist me in the attack. Shen Xiao made a decision quickly. Facing such a ferocious beast, there is definitely no way to escape. Even if he can escape, Chen Ji, Lin Yuan and Yun Tingting may not be able to escape. So, facing the situation at hand, their only choice is to fight. Blood armor, condense. Shen Xiao did not hesitate and chose to release his qi and blood at the first opportunity, condensing it into a qi and blood armor covering his body. Yun Tingting directly released her mental power, trying to suppress the lion mastiff in front of her. However, the latter was not affected at all. It didn't work. Lin Yuan frowned slightly, seeming to realize that something was not right. Although Yun Tingting is not as powerful as a lion mastiff. But despite this, under the full suppression of a 4th-level mental power user, the lion mastiff in front of him should not be affected at all. Yun Tingting said equally anxiously, I don't know why, but my mental suppression has no effect on this strange beast. Suddenly, Lin Yuan noticed the lion mastiff's bloodshot and red eyes. When he was browsing books in the library, he had seen many cases like this. The reason why the lion mastiff in front of me is so violent is probably because it was catalyzed by drugs like crazy blood incense. Otherwise, the lion mastiff's eyes should be golden. Under such circumstances, it is no wonder that Yun Tingting's mental suppression did not work. But, why would someone deliberately let a lion mastiff go into a violent state? Is it to target them? Lin Yuan's pupils shrank suddenly and he whispered, everyone, be careful. This lion mastiff is weird. Someone deliberately made it enter a violent state. Maybe they want to take the opportunity to frame us. Yun Tingting, you are responsible for being vigilant and pay attention to whether anyone else is approaching. Upon hearing Lin Yuan's words, several people were shocked and became even more cautious. They originally thought there was something fishy about this matter, but now it seems that it is indeed the case. The lion mastiff in a furious state flew directly towards Shen Xiao and bit him. The latter sidestepped the attack and landed a backhand punch on the opponent's body. One man and one beast immediately started fighting. Although Chen Ji was worried about someone secretly attacking him, under the current situation, the most urgent thing was to get rid of this lion mastiff without delay. So he gritted his teeth and rushed forward with the alloy sword in hand, ready to assist Shen Xiao in the battle. Shen Xiao's strength is already infinitely close to that of a 5th-level warrior. Chen Ji is also a leader among 4th-level warriors. But with the two men joining forces, the lion mastiff showed no signs of being suppressed, and instead became more and more violent. The strength of this strange beast is really terrifying. Lin Yuan did not choose to step forward immediately. He kept thinking in his mind who was secretly targeting them. Shen Xiao, Chen Ji, and Yun Tingting their enemies, or their own enemies. If it is one's own enemy, then it must be related to Guanshang, Zhang Bao, Hong Dingtian and the others. Because they are the only ones who have enmity against themselves. However, no matter who dares to plot against them in such a despicable way, Lin Yuan must make the other party pay a corresponding price. As expected of the number 1 scholar in martial arts, he was able to fight with a lion mastiff for so long. His strength is indeed not weak. Wang Jian, who was observing a few people in the dark, had a joking smile on his face. Guan Long on the side said coldly, so what if we can hold back the lion mastiff? Wait until the 3 of us take action, kill the 2 people next to Lin Yuan first, and then slowly take care of him and Shen Xiao. Among the 3 of them, Han Dong is the strongest, possessing at least the 4th level of peak strength. Guan Long and Wang Jian are inferior, but they can hardly be said to be late 4th level warriors. The most important thing is that these 2 people are not only extremely strong, but also have extremely rich practical experience after spending many years in the wilderness area. In a one-on-one situation, either of these 2 people can easily defeat Chen Ji. At this moment, Han Dong said with a smile, there is no need to be so anxious. When the lion mastiff and the 2 people fight until both are injured, it will not be too late for us to take action. That way, you don't have to take any risks, and you can still reap the benefits. Lin Yuan and the 4 of them must be killed steadily. Not only that, they also have no intention of letting go of the 5th level lion mastiff. You know, a 5th level beast is full of treasures. As long as this lion mastiff can be successfully killed, the body alone can be sold for a high price of more than 500,000 yuan. Boss, this is a good idea, I agree. By the way, let these little guys understand clearly what despair means. Wang Jian laughed twice, then turned to look at Guanlong. By the way, Lao Guan, how on earth did you successfully lure this lion mastiff here? Of course he knew that Guanlong used the crazy blood incense, which caused the lion mastiff to fall into a violent state. But the key point is that after falling into a violent state, the lion mastiff should target the Guanlong closest to him. Guanlong did not answer Wang Jian's question directly, but replied dully, "It's none of your business, mind yourself." Hearing the conversation between the two, Han Dong also looked at him slightly suspiciously. I have to say that there does seem to be some secrets about Guanlong. If you have the chance, it's better to ask clearly. At this moment, the battle between Shen Xiao and the lion mastiff gradually became intense. The lion mastiff was so strong that even Lin Yuan and Yun Tingting had no choice but to join the battle. Otherwise, the strength of Shen Xiao and Chen Ji alone would not be able to suppress this violent beast. Moon Swamp. Yun Tingting had no way to mentally suppress the lion mastiff, so she simply changed her approach. She turned her mental power into substantial mud and trapped it around the lion mastiff in order to slow down the ferocious beast. Taking advantage of the fact that the lion mastiff was restricted, Shen Xiao, Chen Ji, and Lin Yuan launched a frantic attack without giving it any time to breathe. Under the joint attack of the four people, even as ferocious as a lion mastiff could not help but fall into decline. However, just when a few people had just gained the upper hand, another accident happened again. Boom, boom, boom. Following a burst of sound piercing the air, 6 flying knives whizzed directly towards them. The blades were extremely sharp. Among the 6 flying knives, 3 of them were directed at Shen Xiao and 2 were directed at Chen Ji. The last flying knife was pointed directly at Yun Tingting. Careful, Lin Yuan had quick eyes and quick hands and stopped Yun Tingting behind him. The next second, the alloy sword in his hand suddenly slashed out. With a muffled kang sound, Lin Yuan directly chopped down the flying knife in front of him. On the other side, Shen Xiao's reaction was also particularly quick. Lin Yuan had warned him a long time ago that someone might want to sneak attack them. So, from beginning to end, Shen Xiao never let down his guard. His shot was like lightning, and with a bold palm, he knocked down the 3 flying knives in front of him. Among the several people, Chen Ji was probably the only one who was injured. When the flying knives came to attack, he could barely avoid the attack of the lion mastiff, and he was unable to make any big dodges again. Although he barely dodged the first flying knife, he was still stabbed into the lower abdomen by the second flying knife that followed. Chen Ji groaned, and a sharp pain spread quickly along with the wound. Gurgling blood quickly flowed out along the wound on Chen Ji's lower abdomen. Lin Yuan cursed secretly and immediately ran over to support Chen Ji. At the same time, the figures of Han Dong and others finally appeared in their sight. "Boy, how does it feel to throw a knife?" Wang Jian said with a smile, playing with a flying knife in his hand. The smile on his face, in Lin Yuan's eyes, was so unworthy of beating. There is no doubt that it was this guy who injured Chen Ji with a flying knife. Xiao Dao, Wang Jian. After all, Shen Xiao has been in the wilderness area for a while, and he quickly recognized the identity of the person in front of him. Then, Shen Xiao's face darkened. "I have no enmity with you, why do you come against us for no reason?" "Little brother, we are not targeting you." Wang Jian still had a smile on his face, saying, "You didn't offend us. It's a pity that your companion offended my brother. We'll be walking on the Wangquan Road later. If you really want to blame him, then go ahead and blame him." Wang Jian glanced at Shen Xiao, but finally his eyes fell on Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan's heart sank. These people are actually here for me. At this moment, Guanlong also stepped forward and said sternly, "Lin Yuan, do you know that it is you who ruined the future of my nephew Guan Shang? He failed the martial arts exam this year, and it's all thanks to you." Hearing this, Lin Yuan finally reacted. "They are targeting me just to avenge customs. Just because he punished Guan Shang who wanted revenge during the actual combat assessment, these people in front of him wanted to kill him directly. Not only that, In order to kill themselves, they didn't even intend to let Shen Xiao go. Because, only if they all die here, no one will discover their murderous acts. Presumably, the lion mastiff in front of me must have been deliberately attracted by the other party. Lin Yuan was so angry that he laughed instead. These people have really reached the point of being crazy. Treat human life as nothing. At this moment, Han Dong, who had been silent, finally took a step forward and said coldly, "No need to talk nonsense, kill them all." Lin Yuan's face turned serious. The people in front of me are finally taking action. The current situation is extremely unfavorable for them. Lin Yuan could sense that the three people in front of him were all fourth-level warriors. On their side, Shen Xiao was entangled by the lion mastiff, and Chen Ji was injured. Although not fatal, he lost most of his combat ability. The only ones who can really rise to the challenge are him and Yun Ting. Whoops! Another flying knife came through the air. The target is still Yun Ting. Lin Yuan did not hesitate and took action directly, grabbing the flying knife in front of him. The blade cut his palm, and gurgling blood dripped down his palm. If anything happens, just come to me. What's the point of targeting women? Lin Yuan smiled contemptuously and threw away the flying knife in his hand. Wang Jian narrowed his eyes, sneered and said, "Boy, I originally wanted to kill you in the end. But if you insist on sending it to my door, then there is nothing I can do." As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Jian took out 2 daggers from his waist, stepped out with 1 arrow, and attacked Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan took a deep breath and stared at Wang Jian with a pair of scarlet Sharingan eyes. Die! The dagger in Wang Jian's hand turned over and struck Lin Yuan on the neck. At this moment, the whole world seemed to slow down suddenly in front of Lin Yuan, like a slow-motion movie. Lin Yuan took a step sideways and cleverly avoided Wang Jian's dagger. The next moment, he flicked his wrist, and the alloy-long knife in his hand suddenly slashed towards Wang Jian. 7 moves of the Ju sword, the first move is surging. If this sword hits, Wang Jian will either die or be disabled. However, Wang Jian has been in the wilderness area for so many years, so he is naturally extremely sensitive to crises. The moment Lin Yuan took out the knife, he felt as if his scalp was about to explode. His subconscious told him that if he didn't avoid this knife, will die. Wang Jian forcibly turned around, kicked his right leg suddenly on the ground, and retreated crazily. Tisk! Even though Wang Jian chose to retreat immediately, Lin Yuan's sword still left a long mark on his body. Wang Jian looked horrified. He thought that his attack was already quite powerful, but the young man in front of him not only avoided his attack with ease, he even had the energy to counterattack. The reason why this happens: either the other party has more actual combat experience than you do. Either his actions were completely seen through by the young man in front of him. No matter what it is, Wang Jian doesn't want to believe it. But the burning pain from the blood marks on his chest forced him to accept this fact. "Guanlong, come here and help me, this guy is a bit weird." Wang Jian didn't dare to ask for help, so he directly called for help. Guanlong looked slightly cold. This Wang Jian was really useless. He couldn't even deal with a teenager. However, even though he was thinking this in his heart, he did not stop and continued to kill Lin Yuan. Only by killing Lin Yuan with your own hands can you relieve the hatred in his heart. However, at this moment, a figure blocked him in front of him. It was Chen Ji. He had taken the initiative to pull out the flying knife in his abdomen. Although the wound was still bleeding, Chen Ji couldn't care less. Chen Ji raised his head with a pale face and said calmly, "Hey, your opponent is me." Guanlong was furious and punched Chen Ji directly. "Just because you or half a people want to stop me. Get out of my way." Chen Ji had a resolute face, neither retreating nor avoiding, and faced Guanlong's offensive directly. The two sides soon became entangled. At the same time, Han Dong also took action. It's just that the target of his attack was not Lin Yuan, but Shen Xiao. In Han Dong's view, as long as the strongest Shen Xiao dies, the remaining people will be nothing more than a pile of loose sand, at their disposal. On the other hand, if Shen Xiao escapes by chance, they will be in big trouble. Soon, Shen Xiao was surrounded by Han Dong and the lion mastiffs. "Yun Ting, go help Shen Xiao," Lin Yuan said without hesitation. Although Yun Tingting may not be Han Dong's opponent, she can still help Shen Xiao share some of the pressure. Are you still in the mood to take care of others? You'd better take care of yourself first. Wang Jian gave a ferocious laugh, and struck Lin Yuan with the dagger in his hand again. While Lin Yuan was distracted, he actually made a mark on his right arm. The current situation is a dead end. Only he can still compete with Wang Jian. The injured Chen Ji and Shen Xiao, who were 1 against 2, could not possibly last long under the opponent's offensive. Lin Yuan's eyes were red, and the alloy sword in his hand swung wildly towards Wang Jian. He must kill Wang Jian and free himself before he can rescue others. However, Wang Jian also saw his impatience, so he simply did not take the initiative to attack, but blindly defended to delay time. Boy, how does it feel to fight a trapped beast? I advise you not to make any more useless resistance. You can only watch your companions die in front of you one by one. After all your companions are dead, it will be your turn. Wang Jian smiled ferociously and spoke provocatively. Perhaps it's because of his psychological distortion, he likes to see the expressions of despair on other people's faces. However, Lin Yuan did not respond to him, because an option finally appeared in front of him. At this critical moment, the God-level selection system was finally triggered again. Option 1. Choose to abandon your companions and escape alone. You will be rewarded with a speed talisman, which can help the host get out of danger quickly. Option 2. Choose to protect your companions and fight to the death without retreating. The reward is a Beast Fusion card, with 2000 HP points. If the host makes the wrong choice, his life may be in danger. I hope the host will consider it carefully. Finally come. Lin Yuan didn't hesitate at all and shouted directly, I choose the second one. Joke. How is it possible for him to abandon his companions? Since this incident started because of him, he should also end it with his own hands. How can there be so much time in this life for you to consider the correctness of your choice? Since you have to do it, then risk your life to do it. These 3 people present, Han Dong, Guan Long, Wang Jian, they all must die. That's what I said. Under the rage, Lin Yuan's face even became slightly distorted. Just a second after he made his choice, the system's beep sounded again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully making the choice. You will be rewarded with 2000 points of vitality and blood, and an Alien Beast Fusion card. What second one? Knowing that you are going to die, you start talking nonsense. Wang Jian smiled coldly and looked at Lin Yuan in front of him jokingly. At this moment, Lin Yuan has already begun to check the attributes of the Alien Beast Fusion card. Alien Beast Fusion card, special props. Number of uses, 1/1. Introduction to the item. After use, it can be fused with a designated alien beast to completely absorb all its attributes. After the duration, the host will retain 10% of the fusion attributes. Duration, 5 minutes. After understanding the function of this card, Lin Yuan used it directly on the Lion Mastiff without hesitation. If you can forcibly integrate the Lion Mastiff into your own body, it will not only enhance your own strength, but also free Shen Xiao. However, this time the integration failed, because the level of Lion Mastiff is 1 level higher than that of Lin Yuan. Alien Beast Fusion cards still have limitations. They cannot fuse alien beasts that are more powerful than themselves. Thinking about it, if it were true that there were no restrictions, wouldn't Lin Yuan be able to directly fuse with the 9th level beast? In this way, even if he can only retain 10% of his attributes, Lin Yuan can reach the sky in 1 step. Since the Lion Mastiff is not good, then find other exotic beasts to fuse with. Thinking like this, Lin Yuan chose to turn around and run away without hesitation. Want to escape? Wang Jian's expression turned stern, and he immediately followed Lin Yuan's pace. It's not that simple to escape from his pursuit. Haha, it seems that Lin Yuan doesn't value you companions that much. Guan Long sneered. After pushing you into the fire pit, I only thought about escaping. But don't worry, today, none of you can escape. Chen Ji's face darkened, and the alloy sword in his hand suddenly slashed towards Guan Long. Unfortunately, after being injured, his explosive power was also much weaker. This knife was easily dodged by Guan Long. Chen Ji was also upset. Although he and Lin Yuan had not been together for a long time, he still did not want to believe that the other person would be the kind of person who would abandon his companions at a critical moment. But, in the face of life and death, who can explain some things clearly? Lin Yuan certainly did not escape. He is just looking for strange beasts for fusion. Soon, a second-level swift porcupine appeared in front of him. Lin Yuan frowned and hesitated for a moment, but in the end he did not choose to fuse. Fusing second-level beasts, the increase is too small for him now. Whoops! The sound of breaking through the sky sounded. Wang Jian's flying knife flew past again. Lin Yuan did not dare to hesitate and turned over and fled into a building, as if he wanted to avoid Wang Jian's flying knife. Madness! Wang Jian chuckled lightly. From his point of view, Lin Yuan's move completely forced himself into a dead end. However, just after Wang Jian chased him into the building, he discovered a fourth-level shadow cat demon that was originally hiding in the building, with a fierce light on its front, stared at Lin Yuan, the intruder, as if ready to tear him into pieces at any time. You're done. Wang Jian laughed. This Lin Yuan was really miserable. While being chased by him, he actually ran into a fourth-level alien beast. It seems that Lin Yuan pushed himself to a dead end without any effort on his part. It's up to you to finish it. Lin Yuan chuckled lightly, raised his head, and met Wang Jian's eyes. The next second, Lin Yuan directly chose to use the Alien Beast Fusion card. The Shadow Cat Demon screamed, as if it had been subjected to a huge suction force, and it forcibly merged towards Lin Yuan. At the same time, all the attributes of the Shadow Cat Demon also increased to Lin Yuan's body. Strength, speed, explosive power. Among them, the most core attribute of the Shadow Cat Demon is its speed. After completely completing the fusion, Lin Yuan's appearance did not change much. Only on the face, there are a few more purple animal patterns. Wang Jian was completely stunned by the scene in front of him. He had no idea why the Shadow Cat Demon was directly integrated into Lin Yuan's body. Could it be said that this is his superpower? Wang Jian gritted his teeth, and a cruel look suddenly appeared on his face. No matter what your situation is, you will die. He directly drew out several flying knives from his waist, flicked his wrist, and shot towards Lin Yuan. However, what Wang Jian didn't expect was that Lin Yuan's figure disappeared instantly. After fusing the attributes of the Shadow Cat Demon, Lin Yuan's speed has been greatly improved. It was even close, and when it was dodged, it still left an afterimage on the spot. Wang Jian's face was horrified. What a terrifying speed. Tisk! A soft sound suddenly rang in Wang Jian's ears. Before Wang Jian could react to what kind of figure it was, he found that his perspective was deflected. My own eyes seemed to see my own torso from an upward angle. Lin Yuan drew the sword so fast that Wang Jian didn't even react, and his own head was cut off. Wang Jian closed his eyes in regret. I really shouldn't do this favor to Guanlong. I originally thought that the opponent was a group of chicks that could be easily killed, but I didn't expect that it would bring about a fatal disaster for myself. Lin Yuan picked up his head, his eyes were cold and stern, and he said softly, the first one. He killed someone. This is the first time Lin Yuan has killed anyone. However, there was no fluctuation in his heart. On the contrary, it was extremely calm, like a calm lake. Because these people deserve to be killed. Wang Jian is just the first one. The other two will also die. Lin Yuan held Wang Jian's head, turned over and jumped from the third floor. Perhaps for him, the height of the third floor may be a bit high. But after integrating the attributes of the Shadow Cat Demon, Lin Yuan's figure was extremely dexterous, falling gently to the ground like a fallen leaf. The next second, Lin Yuan's figure disappeared from the place like a ghost again. Under Guanlong's violent offensive, Chen Ji retreated steadily and had almost no power to fight back. Moreover, Guanlong is extremely insidious and specially targets Chen Ji's wounds. Not long after the battle, the wound on Chen Ji's abdomen became even larger. And Chen Ji's face became increasingly pale, and it was obvious that he was at the end of his strength. To be honest, being able to hold on until now is already a sign of Chen Ji's strong willpower. If it were other warriors of the same level, they would probably have passed out long ago. However, even so, Chen Ji can't hold on for long. It will not take more than 3 minutes at most. When Chen Ji completely loses the ability to fight back, Guanlong can easily kill him. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.